Pete, and that's the operative word. And you know, you look at how far he has come. I mean, he had some big hiccups last year when he was working out of the pen. I don't want to say, it's unfair to say, boy, he's arrived, but he's pretty close.
I think he's more than close. I think he has arrived. And the reason I say that, he's learned how to pitch. And before, you'd look at Chad Bettis, you wouldn't see the good curveball. You wouldn't see a changeup back in the counts. You'd always say, I'm going to try to throw it through the brick wall. And when he was in the bullpen, that's exactly what he did. What he's done is he's learned how to pitch. And he's brought that to the big leagues. And you can see the numbers. Look at it before when he was on the disabled list, 5-4. Since then, he's made 5 starts, 3-1, at a 329 earned run average, not just on the road, but it's been here at Coors Field of what he's been able to do. Against the Padres, we'll give you some highlights, and you'll be able to see some of these 4 pitches that Chad Bettis has brought to the table. There's the good slider, slide cutter, got 6 strikeouts over 5 innings, painted the fastball in. And when you have the ability to do this and make people aware of the fact you can throw the hook when you want to, I can throw the changeup when I want to, you're going to get good results. And he did. 4 hits in 5 innings, a run, and he only walked 1.
You know, George, you played a long time in the big leagues, and you want that veteran presence. And Jorge De La Rosa has been the winningest pitcher in Rockies history. By personality, Jorge's pretty quiet. Chad's still a young guy, but he, I think, down the road, and maybe not that far down the road, will have the ability to lead, don't you?
Well, Drew, I think, too, he's leading by example a lot right now. In other words, I see him in the locker room, and it's all about business. He comes on the field, it's all about business. I'm a professional. This is what I'm here for. I'm not here because I'm a second-round draft pick. I'm not here because I throw 95 miles an hour. I'm here because I belong here, and he's showing that on the mound.
And you know he's up for this challenge, taking on the Pirates, who clinched a playoff spot yesterday. Nolan Arenado, as Jenny told you, back in the lineup this afternoon. He's young. He doesn't stay hurt very long. Rockies and Pirates, come on back to Coors Field with us. It is a gorgeous Thursday afternoon, and we're thrilled you're with us for a little afternoon baseball. Final game of this 4-game set between the Rockies and Pirates. Been all Pittsburgh so far. They broke open a 7-6 game in the 9th inning yesterday with a 6 spot, and they won 13-7 behind 19 hits. Pirates are playing very good baseball, And they're trying to chase down the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League Central in the final 10 days of the season. Josh Harrison, you saw a moment ago. Here's Clint's Southwest Airlines lineup. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Following Josh Harrison, that name is pronounced Jeff. It is spelled J-A-F-F. Jeff Decker. And then McCutchen, and you saw the rest of the lineup. We're underway. First pitch misses from Chad Bettis to Harrison. Ball one. Josh Harrison had a good ball game yesterday. He had 3 hits. It was one of those interesting games. He had 3 hits, 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of at-bats in yesterday's ball game for a lot of the Pirates. They put 13 runs on the board. Chad Bettis, the leadoff hitters, have hit 283 against him this year. The National League average, 312. Well under that. 18 games, a record of 8-5, a 446 earned run average, over 103 innings.
A couple of key things about those numbers we just showed you. Here's the 2-1, and that's fouled off. George, winning pitcher on a team that's way below 500. We talked about that with Jorge De La Rosa yesterday. And the other thing, far better than a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
Well, he's figured out you don't walk people in this ballpark. You don't fall behind. You've got a pretty good chance to do some good. He does it here with a strikeout on a changeup. We'll take a look at that last strikeout on a pitch from the changeup. Circle change with some pretty good rotation and bite here at Coors Field. Pretty nice strikeout. Well, if you look at Chad Bettis, what does he offer? Fastball 91.9. He'll throw it about 60% of the time. The change, curve, and slider. Curveball's become very prominent as an out pitch for him.
And we've seen more sliders of late also. He's really got a legit 4-pitch mix. Here's Jeff Decker, and he takes a strike at 95 on the outside corner, playing right field for Gregory Polanco. Just inside. Home plate umpire is Ron Kolpa. Larry Vanover is the crew chief. He is at first. Brian Knight at second. Vic Carapazza is at third. Perfect day for baseball. 79 degrees. Tried to drop a curveball in there, missed. 2-1. Three and one. One out, and a 3-1 pitch upcoming to Decker. And he misses there, so it's ball 4. Decker to first, and that'll bring up the 2013 MVP, Andrew McCutchen. You know, yesterday the Pirates didn't do a whole lot of celebrating. There was, you know, a very civil celebration, if you will. And on the field, I mean, you wouldn't have known anything special went on other than that they won a ball game yesterday. And I talked to this man who's at the plate, Andrew McCutchen, this morning in the Pirate clubhouse, and I asked him about the subdued celebration, if you will, and he said, I guess the bottom line is, he has a great smile, he said, is we have bigger fish to fry. And he's talking about trying to chase down the Cardinals.
Absolutely.
It's been there, done that. They've been the wild card the last 2 years. They're happy about that accomplishment. Clint said as much. He said, but we have more work to do. This is like, you know, step one. And if you're a Pirate fan, you have to admire that attitude.
Well, you do. And again, they've turned that city around. The football field, if you've ever been there, is I think 8 blocks away from the baseball field, or even closer.
That's
maybe.
Closer, yeah. A couple blocks.
And it's obviously the Steel City, all those things that go along with the Steelers, that very rightfully so. 20 years of losing, and Clint has changed it.
Boy, it's going to be a tough chance to get McCutchen. Not going to get him. Andrew McCutchen had no intent to swing at that, and he ends up with an infield hit. He was fooled, and the bat contacted the baseball, and he ends up at first base. First and second, 1 out. Starling Marte, who's been unconscious in the series, is coming up. Rockies with a different alignment in the outfield. Rafael Ino is in left field. Corey Dickerson in center. Kyle Parker in right. Cargo's getting a day. Barnes has the hamstring. Arenado back in there. Adames at short for Reyes. LeMahieu, Rosario right side. And it's Dustin Garneau's turn behind the plate. There's Nolan. Hit his head hard on Tuesday night. Face plant in the 9th inning, but back in there, swung on and missed. So here the Pirates go again, George. They've scored in the first inning of every game in this series, and you had a walk and an excuse me hit, and now you got to really bear down if you're Chad Bettis with this kid at the plate, Starling Marte.
Oh, good sinker. Man, they got that under the hands well, with some velocity at 92 miles an hour. You get guys guessing away. Through the hard slider, strike one. Comes back now. This heavy moving sinker under the swing of Starling Marte.
0-2 on Marte. 11 for 20 of late, and he pokes one through the left side, and coming home's Harrison, and he is going to, excuse me, is Decker, and he's going to score, and it's 1-0 Pittsburgh. Got to be kidding me. That's 4 straight games in this series the Pirates have scored in the first inning.
And that's what they do. And again, Chad Bettis has 36 walks on the year, 26 to left-handers, and that's what happens a lot of times. Right-handers try to sink the ball down and away. This is an 0-2 pitch, not a bad 0-2 pitch. You can see Garneau was about to go down to block it, and he ends up taking it to left field. This ball club this year, 58-12 when they score first. This is the guy, you know, he's talked so much about Marte and what he's done. How about Walker? 12 for 27.
Walker yesterday had a career day. He drove in 6 in the game, 4 for 5. The 6 RBIs, a career best for Walker. Last second baseman for the Bucks to have 6 ribbies in a game was Jose Castillo. Remember him back in 06?
Now, last night was special for Walker, and you mentioned it early. This big blow came in the early part of the ball game, and it continued on for Walker. After the single, he came up with the home run, then backed it up with 2 singles in the 9th inning. The Denver chapter, huh?
And this is line toward Parker. He's going to get there, and that's the second out. Good break on the baseball in right field for Kyle Parker. Most of his reps, virtually all of his reps defensively, have been in left field because Cargo's always in right.
And it is a different break for hitters. It's not the same. People say the outfield's the outfield. It's not. I can remember Larry Walker. They even talked to him back in his playing days here about going to left field, and he's reluctant because of the way the ball breaks off of the bat differently.
Jordy Mercer at the plate. Another guy who's had a big series. Mercer 10 for 23 on the road trip, 8 for 13 in this series. And who's hurt the Rockies this year? 579. Dodgers come in late tonight, play a weekend set against the Rockies.
They have a noon start in Arizona.
They're at home. They're in LA, which they give themselves a day getaway game, but
a favor.
Yeah, nobody else.
Yeah, Clayton Kershaw's on the hill for the Dodgers today.
Again, they're skipping Zach Greinke. He was scheduled to go last night. He's got tightness in his calf. He'll go Mondays in San Francisco.
I know for Walt today, with Chad Bettis on the mound, he doesn't feel like I'm going to have to patchwork my bullpen, because with Bergman yesterday, he got to 79 pitches, but it's just one of those deals where, you know, he felt like, hey, this guy had been stretched past 3. They took it a little farther than they probably wanted to. Tomorrow, David Hale's going to start. And David had been deep, so I mean, you've got to back yourself up pretty good. Even though a guy started, maybe worked into the 6th, but it's been about a month.
2-2 fouled off. Garneau's going to give it a look. Not going to have a play. Well, the Rockies used 9 pitchers in a 9-inning game last night.
And the most impressive for me, honestly, Rex Brothers. 1 inning, gave up the hit, but he struck out 3. Flashed that 94-mile-an-hour fastball consistently. The slider was good. Christian Friedrich, nice job. 1 inning, couple of strikeouts. Justin Miller again who gets a good outing.
2-2 and swung on and missed. That's good pitching by Bettis. He gives up the run, but he made sure that he limited the damage. There were 2 hits and a walk in that first inning. The Pirates up 1-0. Leadoff in Walt Weiss's lineup this afternoon. Let's take a look at it. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Christian Adames will bat second. Nolan third. Willeen Rosario will bat the cleanup spot. Then LeMahieu, Enoa, Parker, Garneau, and Bettis. Jeff Locke, the veteran from North Conway, New Hampshire. Boy, they just crank out big leaguers in North Conway.
One that I know of, 29 ball games he started this year, 8-11 overall, a mid-4 earned run average. If you look at his last 13 games, haven't been very special. 3-7 with a 490 earned run average. He has struggled out on the road, 4-7 over this 2015 campaign.
Third time this year that Dickerson has been asked to hit leadoff. He's done it 29 times in his career. So the Rockies have to play catch up. That's 5 games in a row that the Rockies have given up at least 1 marker in the first inning. And Locke hits the strike zone there. It's 0-1. Shattered bat, easy play at second for Walker, 1 guy. Pittsburgh, after capturing a playoff spot last night, will align this way defensively. Marte McCutcheon, Decker, as we talked about, is in right field for Polanco. Josh Harrison giving Aramis Ramirez another day with the groin strain. Mercer and Walker up the middle. Pedro Alvarez at first, and Chris Stewart is behind the plate for Francisco Cervelli. Christian Adames, switch hitter in from the right side, and he takes ball 1. Adames pinch hit last night. Christian got a start and batted second on Tuesday, going 1 for 4 against the left-hander Happ. Turns his back, Locke does, to give himself a little deception.
Yeah, that's the key to it, is the deception. But what happens sometimes, you let your arm get outside your body line on that turn, and that's when you can have some difficulty getting back on top. He really did a good job short on the ball here. Adames will drive one to center, but McCutcheon will get it. Well, looking at his delivery, here's what we're talking about. Is you go ahead and start this and let it roll through. When he gets about right when that glove drops out of the hand, you can freeze it right there. Sometimes he had a tendency to let the hand drop back here in the zone and had trouble catching up. But if you let it roll forward, you're going to see you don't see the baseball. He really hides it well and then brings it right over to the top. Is that a little bit of left-handed coito that you see him with the big turns?
Nolan with 2 outs, and the fastball is in there at 93 for a strike. Throw it about 61% of the time. Curveball and changeup as well. Two balls and a strike. Works it into a hitter's count. Pitch always the big pitch, the swing pitch, the 1-1 count. Nolan's made more starts than any third baseman in the National League, and he has himself at least one, and he's going to have 2. Get there, get there, get there. Stand up double. That is career double number 100 in Nolan Arenado's career. And on the season for Nolan, it is his 37th double. Chance for 40 doubles, 40 homers.
Yeah, how about that? That'd be a great achievement for Nolan. Let's look at the replay. They've got the big shift set to the left side with the left-hander on the mound, and Nolan hits it through the right side. The minute the ball was hit to the right side, locked through his hands and kind of looked towards the dugout the way the defense was set up. Nolan just a nice job of hitting the baseball and shooting it through the right side. Well, chance to get one on the board for the Rockies.
Now, if he did really have an adverse reaction, and that, you know, we're trying to read his mind. Did you not know the shift was on? I mean, you went over scouting reports and so on. You got to pitch to the shift.
Right, but and again, he got a ball out over the plate. But you got a guy at the plate. I mean, that's with me with Nolan. I don't care how many hits he's got to left field. He can handle the bat, and he can recognize that.
Well, Rosario can handle the bat and has always handled lefties particularly well.
355 average with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
Ball and a strike on Willeen. A couple days ago, he hit a home run to right field. Willeen 2 days ago, 2 for 3 and a walk. Swung it well. Here's the 1-1 tying run at second. One and 2 on Rosario.
Breaking ball.
And a ground ball toward the middle, and the spin and the throw is in time. Good play by Jordy Mercer. That ends the inning. Arenado, who doubled, left at second base. It's 1-0 Pittsburgh after 1. By your hometown Toyota stores, Toyota, let's go places. By Courtyard by Marriott, Western Elegance in the cultural heart of the city. And by Southwest Airlines, book your loafer now at southwest.com. Love the Denver Zoo. That Dougie, who is an aficionado of zoos around North America, gives a big thumbs up to the Denver Zoo. And it's funny we showed a shot of the Denver Zoo as Pedro Alvarez takes strike one. I was just saying to my youngest, in the last 2 days, we have to go to the zoo. We haven't been in a while. Swung on and missed.
It's a great way to spend your family time.
Yeah. George, those are giraffes.
I know exactly what they are.
They have long necks.
Long legs too, Drew, if you didn't notice.
Yep.
He's got her baby with him.
0-2's high on Alvarez, 1-2. And there's the orangutan. You know what? I mean, listen, if you know you're going to be on camera, the least you could do is brush your hair. You've been rolling around in the ground. Swung on and missed. Good pitch. Off speed again. Rosario jumps to make the catch, and that's the first out of the second inning. 3 strikeouts for Bettis. And it was a rough night. You know what? There's nothing. You got to sleep in sometimes, George. You have a rough night.
I didn't want to go. They made me.
Yeah. Yeah, and the hippo.
By the way, you don't really want to get in and play around with those.
Well, you have some
It's not going to be fun.
No,
I just watch a lot of the animal shows, and there's stuff in Africa that I just know they don't really like to be bothered.
They're not friendly?
They don't like to be bothered.
Listen,
it's not a petting zoo.
I'm just telling you, if I see a hippo in the water, I'm not getting in that body of water. That's a big bird. That's a vulture. Who shot all these great photos we have today? This ball's lined to the left, and it's going to drop for Stewart. So 1 out single for the backup catcher for the Pirates. That'll bring up the pitcher, Jeff Locke. Rockies fans, we invite you every day. Join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts and photos. Use Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and include the hashtag Toyota Talk. Toyota Talk. Thursday afternoon baseball. Awesome. Afternoon games are awesome. Locke takes ball 1. While we have a moment, I want to congratulate Courtney and Brian Jones. We talk about Jonesy all the time. Brian's the outstanding video coordinator for the Rockies, has been for a number of years. Courtney just gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Maddox Ray.
Isn't that neat? And congratulations. You bet.
And that's daughter number 2 for the Joneses. She joins Everett Grace, who was born a couple of Septembers ago. Oh! Now you got to go man to man. You can't double team anymore. Courtney and Brian. It's done with. Whole new defensive alignment. Josh Harrison on deck, 2-1.
I'm quite sure that Brian's already got him in the Oklahoma State Aggie gear.
Quite possibly. I know if not Brian yet, Brian's folks will have the orange on them very quickly. See if they have a shot. No, I thought for a moment had a shot at second, but Stewart got a good jump. And Garneau takes the out at first, sacrifice 2-4. And there are 2 outs, and Josh Harrison coming up. George, we've often pointed this out. With Brian and Courtney, Brian's really way over his skis. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I'm not going to hold judgment on that. But yeah,
we've seen Courtney, we've seen Brian.
Very much so.
And he outkicked his coverage by a phenomenal amount. I hope you're listening, Brian.
changeup got Josh Harrison first at bat, threw it underneath the swing, and was able to get the strikeout to lead off the ball game. See how he handles him here.
That's the thing at this level, George, as you like to point out, you better, if one approach worked one time, you better be ready to adjust, because they adjust so quickly against you.
And what I liked what Bettis did first at bat, he buzzed him pretty good, chest high, and then he went sinker in and worked away and came back to the changeup. He's even to count 1-1 here.
See how Papelbon buzzed the tower twice on Manny Machado yesterday. Bench is emptied. Washington and
They got grumpy? They get grumpy yesterday?
That's a good pitch, 1-2. They got grumpy yesterday. Machado had taken Scherzer deep on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and watched it for a moment. It wasn't anything.
They all watch it now.
Yeah. You know, listen, you hit a 430, you ought to watch it for a
Well,
second.
they all watch it now. Come on. Really?
Like Bryce Harper's comment after the game. He goes, it's tired. And I wasn't sure who he was talking about. I thought he may have been talking about Papelbon. He goes, no, I'm going to pay for it tomorrow. Good pitch. And Bettis gets out of the inning by getting Harrison to ground to Adames. Middle of 2, the Pirates leading 1-0. There's our friend Mr. Giraff again. The second inning for Colorado. If the Rockies score 7 or more in any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. And I suggest you do that this afternoon, as the Rockies scored 7 last night. Unfortunately, it was in a loss. Rockies now with 7+ runs at home this year are just 15 and 10. We discussed that yesterday. Back in 09, when they won 92 games, they went 28-2 at home when they scored 7+. Back in 07, the record was even better than that. So something hopefully that turns around next year for Colorado at Coors Field. LeMahieu, Inoa, and Parker against the left-hander Jeff Locke. Locke with a 4.48 ERA coming in. And this is in the air to McCutchen. Last couple of years he's been beneath 4. 391 last year, 352 2 years ago. So here's Raffy. Last night we saw Raffy pinch hit in the 9th inning, and he turned around a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah,
remember that? And he hit it off the left center field wall, close to 400 feet from home plate. Raffy started the year with the big club. Former Dodger farmhand's been given an opportunity here with the Rockies. Done nicely. Look out. 2 strikes. Rockies trying to salvage 1 of 4 against Pittsburgh. Final matchup this year, naturally, and the Pirates have won 5 of the 6. Pirates just beaten up the NL West. We've discussed that throughout the series. 26-6 against the National League West this year. Two and two. Changes speeds nicely. He's always had a pretty good changeup.
Yeah, and a pretty good one shown there to Rafael Lanoia. Fan appreciation fireworks, courtesy of Great Clips. It's going to happen this Friday after the Rockies play the Dodgers. So make sure you come by. And you get to look at all the Root Sports fireworks that'll be happening. Look at that. Nice. Some good work there, huh?
Here's Kyle Parker. Oh! And he takes a strike. Locke has slightly better than average fastball, or probably in this day and age you'd call it an average fastball. 91 to 93, but that changeup makes it look a little more special, and a little turn of the body.
Hitters will tell you that you have a short, quick arm action. 89-91 seems like 91-94 because the ball gets on you quick. It jumps those last couple of seconds to get to you. Ahead in the count 0-2 to Kyle Parker. They want to go fastball, and they want to bury it under the hands.
And swung on and missed. A quick inning for Jeff Locke. He gets his first 2 strikeouts of the ball game. We'll go to the third. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Strong fan, and you just might see yourself in a game broadcast brought to you each day by T-Mobile. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Mike McHenry is going to join us in a little bit.
Yeah,
he's going to spend some time
supposed
with
to
us.
be here.
The former Pittsburgh Pirate, and right now, unfortunately for Mike, he's on the disabled list after knee surgery. Jeff Decker batting second in Clint Hurdle's lineup. Will lead things off in the third. He gets strike 1 from Chad Bettis.
Walked and scored a run in the first inning after the walk, an infield single by McCutchen, and then a base hit by Marte.
changeup is wide. 1 ball, 1 strike on Decker. Pulled hard, but foul. Jeff's out of Peoria, Arizona, northern suburb, northwestern suburb of Phoenix. 1-2 outside. He's the Arizona Player of the Year his senior year in high school.
It's funny, you go to Phoenix and you start traveling around. I know I went there and played in the Greenbelt with one of my sons. Was it called Green Mountain or Greenbelt Tournament? Oh my goodness, teams from all over the place: California, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, and then all the teams from that area.
I'll be at the
very interesting to go watch those guys in the spring and get to participate in those tournaments.
Be right in his neck of the woods, the Peoria Sports Complex,
right,
with the Rockies scout team in a couple weeks playing down there in the Senior Fall Classic.
And that's a good time because you know, you go in and you're in front of a lot of Division I coaches, 2 and 3 NAIA guys. They're all looking for players.
Three and 2 on Jeff Decker. And a ground ball to Willeen. Came up on him a little bit. Hung in there. Bettis. Safe. Wow. Bettis went to throw it around, and Larry Vanover said no. Decker got his foot on the bag. I don't know if Chad was a little tardy getting over there.
Well, Willeen, I think originally thought he was going to catch the baseball.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why Chad started to break and watch him make a move. Need to get there. He bobbled, and he takes off running. The bobble by Willeen cost that half a step. Ooh, I don't know about that one. I'd take a look at that.
You know what? Walt wants him to take a look at it.
Yeah, and they should. They should take a look at that on the Subaru Supermo. Let's watch. Freeze it. Watch right here.
Out.
Put down. You're out. He's out.
That's pretty clear.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and write it down out. What do you think? He's out. I don't know why.
Time for a Subaru review. Whether you're on the road or at the game, everybody could use a second set of eyes.
Out.
This one should be 20 seconds, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, they're pulling the headset right now. Pretty simple.
Out. There you go. Thank you, Larry. 3-1. That's how you score that. Andrew McCutcheon will come up.
That's where the athleticism and the ability to read and get there and, you know, take the right angle. Now, it used to be the old school. You'd run up the baseline the last 45 with your runner. Now you take a straight angle to the bag and get your feet in position. Chad did a good job of that, and it ends up in an out.
Curveball's in there for a strike. McCutcheon had the excuse me single his first time up. This is to short. And Adames comes and gets it, and McCutcheon's retired. We'll bring up Starling Marte, who went down on an 0-2 pitch and hit one that was only a few inches off the ground into left field to drive in the only run of this ball game. Marte in the series is hitting like 10,000 if that's possible. And Marte takes ball 1. Marte in the series is 10 for 16 with a home run and 7 driven in. He has has 15 outfield assists also. It's the most since Jose Guillen in 1998 for the Pirates had 16 in a year. Do you remember how Guillen could throw? I mean, Guillen could literally flat-footed from the wall throw a strike to the plate.
Never a play here. It was against the right field wall, and it hit at the base. It was 99, maybe 2000. And it hit at the base of the wall and came up flying and threw a bullet to third base. In the air, you could have hung your laundry on.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like a line drive shot.
I remember that. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was great.
1-2 on Starling Marte. Pirates up 1-0, top of 3. And he did go on the fastball. Two, and that's fouled off. Marte's one of those guys who could fill up a stat book. He runs really well. He's got 29 stolen bases, closing in on 20 home runs. That's obviously a possibility. He has 18. No swing according to Larry Vanover, so it's full on Marte, 3-2. Drive base hit. I'm telling you, he is unconscious right now. This is his 11th hit of the series. 11 for 17. Is that any good?
Yeah, it's really good. And again, it's not a bad pitch from Chad Bettis. It's just, is he on top of this? It appears to be a hard sinker going down and away off the hand of Chad. You see it on the Subaru Supermo. Then a line shot into right field. Hitting it where it's pitched. Not trying to do too much with the pitch thrown.
The two toughest outs in the lineup hitting back-to-back in the 4 and 5 hole. Neil Walker's had a big series, 6 ribbies yesterday, a career best. 2 outs. Marte a threat to go at first. And a quick strike.
Houston Astros are off today. Texas is on top of Oakland 2-0 early with Hamels on the mound.
Tell you what, look out, here come the Angels again.
Chris Bassett on the hill for the Oakland A's.
You know, it's going to be interesting. That MVP race in the American League a week ago, I'd say it's slam dunk. It's Donaldson's. Now here comes Trout again.
It's a lot of super freaks in the American League.
Those 2 guys at the top of the class. Could come down literally to the final couple of days. If the Angels go ahead and end up making the playoffs, and Trout does Trout-like things, who knows? Couple doubles last night. 1-2.
Chris Sale pitching against the Yankees tonight in the stadium in New York.
It's a wild card standings in the American League. The Yankees out in front, pretty much securing at least one spot, but the Twins and the Angels a game and a half back respectively for that final wild card spot. One, 2 comes in this time with a fastball after working the changeup on the prior pitch. Things I love about Chad Bettis, and I know the guys who play behind him appreciate this. There's no wandering. He gives the baseball, even if he's got to rub it down, a new baseball. He's right around the rubber and ready to go. 1-2 on Neil Walker. Curveball, see you later. Beauty. Walker didn't like it. He's the third out. When we come back, Mike McHenry will join us upstairs. Rockies trailing 1-0. By the Ford Escape, smart, safe, and fun to drive. Ford Escape, go further. By Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Gorgeous Thursday afternoon in the Mile High City. Pittsburgh got a run in the first. They're up 1-0 as the Rockies come up at the bottom of the third. 8-9-1 for the Rockies against Jeff Locke, Dustin Garneau, Chad Bettis, and then Corey Dickerson. And the first pitch from the left-hander is in there for a strike, and as promised,
we promised.
We promised
you were coming.
we didn't watch you up here. We'd rather be watching you down there. First and foremost, how's the knee doing?
It's good. Yeah, you guys promised. It just took me a little while because I had to hobble up here. But knee's doing good. Everything's right on schedule, if not ahead. It's just at that point right now where we're just kind of taking it nice and easy. So we'll see where it goes.
Mac, will you be able to hit spring training full go, or will you still be in the rehabilitation process at that point?
I'm sure they'll be a little careful, but I'll be full go. The ultimate goal is to pretty much have the normal off season, get into catching maybe late January, early February, which is pretty normal. I'll work on receiving and footwork and stuff like always, but actually catching bullpens and blocking and stuff, which I usually don't do till late anyway. So it's going to be pretty normal for me.
Garneau to Mercer, 1 out. I know you've been watching these guys carefully with Garneau coming up and Tom Murphy. They seem really quiet behind the plate. Seems like they're handling themselves quite nicely, and they're throwing out some big hits.
I got to throw some love to my man, Mark Strittmatter, our catching coordinator. He's done a great job. I've gotten to see both of those guys grow over time. I was here before Garneau was here, and he's really, really grown. And Murph, he's got a lot of tools. He's really special. I was calling him the new I-Man. He's got a lot of similar tools to I-Man. I think his ceiling may be even higher, if not a lot higher.
You're talking about Chris Iannetta?
Yeah, Chris Iannetta. So, yeah, they've been fun to watch. The way they've handled the staff, the questions they've asked. Garneau came in one day and just asked me, he's like, what's it like to be a backup? What do I need to do? How can I get better? And when you have a guy do that, that's something special, and that's fun to see.
Well, that's somebody, too, that recognizes maybe where he is talent-wise. And I think, and again, all my years in baseball, and you're a great example of it, that if you are a backup guy, you're not the bad guy on the roster. You're the good guy.
Right.
Because a lot of guys think, they get a couple of hits, they hit a home run. Why aren't I catching every day? Why aren't I playing every day? And it's accepting the role, and you can have a long, illustrious career at the big league level doing your job behind the plate.
Right, you need that from everybody. Everybody needs to accept their role. You know, you may be, you know, G, me, it doesn't matter who it is. We may be able to start for another team, but the team we're on at the given moment, we need to accept the role and try to embrace it as much as possible and be as good as we can on every single day with it. If we don't, we're not helping our team the way we should.
It appears that you and Nick Conley, work as a team. And Nick gets more starts, as we know, than you do. But you guys work as a team with that group down there in the bullpen and the guys who are starting.
Absolutely. It's very unselfish. You know, we try to help each other every single day. You know, whether I'm catching or he's catching, we talk before the game, we talk after the game, we talk during the game. If I see something he's catching, like, hey, this guy's really doing a good job of making adjustments. His feet are moving up in the box or back in the box, just to try to help us ultimately win the game. Because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. We take ego and everything else out of it, and we try to figure out how can we win today.
Dickerson with Bettis at first after Locke lost focus for a moment, walked the opposing pitcher. That pitch is outside.
And I've said this a lot too, Mike. I've said, you know, the loss is as much on the catcher as it is the pitcher, because you're just guiding me through this. And I think that's the point where you're receiving those pitches. You may think it is a pretty good time to go change up here, but boy, you're throwing two really good sliders in a row. Let's go back to that slider again. And I think it's your job to sell it in his mind. You throw me the nasty slider, we're out of the inning.
Absolutely. I mean, every single day I go out there, whether I'm catching or not, I feel like it's partly my responsibility. If we lose, I take it hard, because I have a responsibility to let these guys know exactly what I believe is true, what I see, and then we kind of banter back and forth to have a certain game plan. But the in-game adjustments, like you just said, you know, maybe his best pitch is that changeup, and he wants to go to it, but it's not the right time. His slider's been outstanding. That's when you have to say, hey, come on, maybe I put it down 3 or 4 times in a row, which I know you've seen through video, and they see that conviction in my heart, and then all of a sudden they get the conviction, they make the pitch, and over time they get that confidence with me, with Nick, whoever's catching.
You know, the other question I want to ask you too, because it was big for me. I may not have a slider in the first inning, but I think it's very important that a catcher work his pitcher in between innings, because now all of a sudden he's got a release point on the slider. Throw the ball down to second, you go out and, hey, slider's back. Don't be surprised, I'm going to be calling it, but the slider's back. Those 8 pitches in between innings are very important.
Absolutely. Even sometimes you need to work on it. Maybe it's a first pitch to, you know, the first guy of the inning. Like, I was just talking to Gurka a minute ago, and I was telling him last night he was getting on the side of the baseball instead of having that good angle that he's been working on. That's odd. Dickey just got a hit like he always does. That guy can absolutely rake, by the way.
We've noticed.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He's one of the best hitters I've played with and seen ever. But going back to Gurka, I was just telling him he was getting away from himself yesterday, and the ball was kind of leaking back over the plate, and he didn't have the stuff he had that previous outing where he, you know, 6 up, 6 down. It was really special. And I told him, I said, you should have thrown that curveball, got on top of it, throw right in the dirt, whether it was in warm-ups or a first pitch to somebody, because all of a sudden that gets his hand out, it gets his tempo going, and that rhythm comes back, and then he can make those pitches that he wants to make.
I'm going to brag on our catching core a little bit right now, Michael. You may not know this, but as a group, you've hit 271. That's third best. Third best at the Major League National League level in the National League. 19 home runs are 4th best. And the RBIs, 75 is 4th best. That's a pretty good group of guys working there together. I mean, you put those numbers out, and you say, well, this guy. No, you put them together, because that's what it is, and then you get these kind of numbers. That's pretty impressive.
That is. And, you know, I gotta give Hundley a lot of love. I mean, he had a tremendous year. He made some big adjustments in the offseason with Blake, and he stuck to his game plan. I know at times he wanted to hit for a little bit more power and all kinds of stuff, but he stuck to it, and it was awesome.
Adames beats the return throw, so it's 1st and 3rd, 2 outs, and that will allow Arenado to hit with the Rockies trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Yeah, Nick was able to sustain the approach that he took into spring training, and I know he worked hard. You alluded to it with Blake Doyle in the offseason, getting a new guy, new relationship. And what have you found with hitting coaches? You've been in the league now for a while. You're with the Pirates. You were originally with the Rockies. You've worked with different hitting instructors. First of all, for you guys to get here, you all have to be really, really good to begin with. So it's not like you're reinventing the wheel. But what makes a good hitting coach? Is it more a personal thing, being able to click with one guy?
I think it has something to do with the personal relationship you have with that guy. But I think it's just the belief they have in you. Someone that can really pour into you and tell you how good you are, even when you're not that good. But ultimately, at the big league level, you know, I took it upon myself. I want to know myself so well that I can make minor adjustments as the game goes on. And maybe my hitting coach just throws out a key here, a key there. Maybe he just does it like in a mirror situation where he actually shows me what I'm doing. You know, the best hitting coaches are the ones that can, no matter what's going on, some way to find a positive out of a negative. Because this game is such a negative, reinforced game. You know, you go 3 out of 10, you're doing really, really well. You have a bad 100 at bats, everybody's panicking. When, you know, Cargo's a great example. I mean, his first 200 bats were really bad. The guy on the Pirates, and McCutcheon and Josh Harrison, 130 bats in, those guys aren't even hitting 200. People were panicking, but they weren't. You know, they knew that eventually it was going to come out, and they've had a great year. And you've seen what Cargo's done. I mean, it's just been outstanding. So it's guys that can kind of keep you that level. You're not riding the roller coaster. And Blake Doyle does a great job. I mean, if you've ever been around him, he's very, very bubbly. He's always smiling. He loves the game. He loves his guys.
Base hit, and the Rockies tie it up. Guess who? Nolan Arenado. And here comes the green light for Adames, and he'll score. Another double for Arenado, and the Rockies take a 2-1 lead. He is an RBI machine, man. He can smell him out, can't he? That's how you drive in 117.
Big hits with 2 outs. Just a great pressure hitter. Never gives in. And then Locke makes a mistake with a pitch up and out over the plate, and he just shot it right by the shortstop into left center field. And McCutcheon thought he could chase this thing down, but it had a lot of heat behind it. And Adames rounded second, picking up Stu, and there's no hesitation. Why not? Make them make the play. They couldn't. Now back to the hitting coach thing, too, or pitching coach. I know as I teach, the number one thing I got to do is become your friend first. So you have trust in what I'm telling you. If I walk in and say, Michael, your hands are too high, you got to drop them right now, you're never going to hit here. First thing you're going to do, that brick wall is going to come up pretty hard, that this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But if you become their friend and you ask all the right questions, how's it feel to you? What are you feeling right now? This is what I'm seeing, but what do you feel? You tell me what you're feeling. And I think that makes the biggest difference in the world. Absolutely.
You know, you take the ego out of it, and some of the best hitting coaches I've ever had, Blake Doyle's done this before, is just, especially this year for me, you know, I was playing hurt a lot of this year, and he kept me level-headed. He just reminded me constantly, your number one job is to handle this pitching staff, not worry about your swings, just have quality at bats the best you can, and try to win the baseball game. And you know what? It ended up happening where we won a lot more games than we lost when I was behind the plate, and I loved it. I thought it was a good way to look at the game, but it's because he just sat back and said, I know this guy's hurting, he's struggling a little bit, I'm not going to force the issue, I'm just going to say, hey, do your thing, keep it simple. And it was great. I mean, he did a great job with me, and I've seen him do that with a lot of guys.
54 of 117 RBIs for Arenado with 2 outs.
That's special.
How about
That's
that?
Really special.
And Locke really was being careful, as if he walked him, he felt like it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world with a good hitter behind him, but not of the having the same kind of year that man is. So Nolan Arenado drives in a pair, and the Rockies have a 2-1 lead as we go to the 4th. number 4. And a reminder, the day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. The promo code is RocksWin at papajohns.com. Jordy Mercer, the Pirate shortstop and former teammate of Michael McHenry, will lead it off. Chad Bettis on the hill. We've been raving about Chad for a while, Mike. And for me, 2 things come to mind. First of all, he has the stuff to be an upper rotation guy, number 1. Number 2, and maybe it trumps number 1 for me, is he's a competitive son of a gun that wants to be great.
Absolutely. I mean, if you, and obviously I'm going to say this very sparingly, but if you put him and Greinke right next to each other and you put their stuff together, it's very similar. And I think as Bettis continues to go, you know, in his career, he's a guy that wants to compete, wants to learn, and he continues to grow. I mean, in spring training, you know, you guys have talked about it before, and I love that you talked about it. He bought in completely with Holmesy and Foster, our pitching coach and our bullpen coach, in the sense of like, okay, I need to make an adjustment. Why am I not having success with the stuff I have? And he did, and he's done outstanding. And I think he's going to continue to get better as he learns himself. You know, that's one thing. Greinke is the best I've ever seen at. He knows himself. He knows what he can do on certain days. He knows when he's bad, what he has to do to compete. And this guy's going to learn that. It's going to be really, really fun to watch.
Well, I think, too, the other side, last year he came up throwing 98 miles an hour to the bullpen. He said, I'll just blow the ball right by people. And they played wall ball and gave away a lot of souvenirs. And you got to be open. I mean, if I'm not pitching good, somebody tell me difference. And the biggest, and I've said this to Drew, I think the biggest difference in Chad, and I saw him in Double-A for 15 starts when he was in Tulsa. He pitched in Tulsa. I watched it. He threw curveballs. He threw sliders. Now all of a sudden he got up here and they stick him in the bullpen. Hey, you got to blow. You got to get this thing up to 100. And I think that's all he tried to. He quit pitching. And now I watch him. He's back to pitching again of what I saw when I saw him in Double-A. He would go spin the curveball on a 2-0 count. He'd throw the changeup up here. And that league was very talented that year. And I just think I'm seeing him doing a lot of the similarities, but I also see the face. I see the expression. I see in it, and on game face. I don't like that. But I mean, to me, I just don't like that game because anybody can make a game face. But I mean, I've seen him become a professional, meaning that I'm not just happy to be in the big leagues. I know I'm going to get my shot. I'm a 2nd-round pick. I throw 98 miles an hour. I'm going to become a big leaguer because it's fun up here. You know, it's
Absolutely.
nice hotels, beautiful planes, and a nice union. You're playing, yeah, right. And I mean, you know, the grass gets mowed every day, not every 3 days. And it's fun to play up here. And
Absolutely.
it's like, what do I got to do?
Right. And just like you said, I feel like he lost his identity. You know, I didn't know Bettis too well before. Man, 2 catchers bunting in 2 days. You don't see that all the time. I need to work on my bunting again.
I guess so.
No, you just keep hitting it over the wall.
Okay, fair enough.
I like that one.
Fair enough. But you know, I feel like he's developing an identity. We talked about that today with the pitching coaches about how all of our guys need to have an identity. What are they going to do if they didn't have a scouting report? If they didn't know any hitter that was going to step in the box, right-handed, left-handed, how are you going to attack that guy? And if they have that identity, then they can build off that. They can really flourish in different avenues in their pitching. And Bettis has probably been the best on our staff at letting that happen and letting it grow. And it's been really cool. I'm really excited about his future.
Well, I think the key to it, and you said this about hitters, knowing who you are.
Absolutely.
And I think as a pitcher, if you know who you are and know how you have to pitch, and unfortunately in today's game, everybody wants stuff. I want to see stuff.
Right.
I want to see outs.
I want to see a competitor that gets outs.
I want to see outs. I don't care how you get them.
Yeah.
I just want to see some outs.
Mark Burley's a perfect example. He throws 84 miles an hour and he gets outs. He's got, what, 17 years in the big leagues and 200-plus wins. That's what you want to see.
Yeah. Why don't you break this pitch down? 0-2. And
here, you want to draw? You want to have fun? You ever want to do that?
Oh, absolutely.
Here you go.
I'm
You
not
just
a good
touch
drawer.
lightly. Oh, you don't want to draw? All right.
No, I'll draw.
That's
hey, that pitch
slider.
right there, yeah, he's been outstanding with his off-speed pitches. You know, Chris Stewart's a guy that handles the ball close to him really well. He's more of a rotational guy. And all he did right there was got him out front, you know, pitched him in hard, got him looking that way, and then threw that breaking ball to speed him up. It was beautiful. I didn't get to draw. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's a long reach for a guy with a broken leg.
I got to ask you a question, too. I think when you're a backup, you're so geared to fastball. You don't see as many breaking balls. And if you're smart enough as a pitcher, you take advantage of that. And you don't let him ambush first 2 pitches.
Absolutely. I mean, that's beautifully said. I mean, a lot of times, you know, you say guys coming off the bench hitting or a guy that is a bench player, a lot of times they're geared up for that fastball. You know, Rodriguez hit a breaking ball last night. That's not really common. You know, you don't see that all the time. We're all geared up for the fastball. We stay on it. It's too hard to make that adjustment when you're coming off the bench.
You know, pitchers and catchers are a lot like golfers. If you ask a professional golfer after his round and he shoots 69, he can tell you every single shot, where he hit it, what, you know, I had a 7-iron in, I was 167 out, and I left it about 15 feet right. The putt was going to, you know, bend a little bit right. They can tell you, and you guys are the same way. It's just like you mentioned Sean Rodriguez
We're a little
last
quirky.
night. But you have
crazy.
to be. You got to be focused. You got to know.
Monotonous. Yeah, all that stuff. Absolutely.
And you cannot take, and you know this better than anybody, you can't take your whatever's happening offensively out behind the plate. Strike 3. Locke is going to pick up the conversation with Mike McHenry when we come back. Chad Bettis locked in now after giving up a marker in the first inning. Rockies 2 and the Bucks 1. Well, Jeff Locke and Chad Bettis locked up in a pretty good one. And Bettis, after giving up a run in the first inning, has been terrific since then. He has struck out 6, walked just 2, 77 pitches. Is the only thing you may be a little bit concerned about. 48 pitches for Jeff Locke. Rockies got a 2-run double in the third from Nolan Arenado to go out in front 2-1. DJ LeMahieu will lead it off in the fourth inning. LeMahieu, Enoa, and Kyle Parker against the left-hander from North Conway, New Hampshire. I told you earlier, a baseball mecca in North Conway.
How many guys have been out in North Conway in the big leagues, Dougie? Watch, he's going to drop like 7 on you, Goodman.
If he drops 7,
I don't even know, where is that?
It's in New Hampshire.
Okay, New Hampshire.
It's not that far from Boston.
I knew he was from New Hampshire, but I didn't know like if he had moved or whatnot. So fair enough.
Yeah.
There can't be many.
No.
Do they play indoors up there?
For in the winter.
Ball.
And the winter takes you to the 4th of July.
He's the one and only, so he could run for mayor, too.
The snow just melted in Boston area, by the way, like yesterday. Just finally all melted from their winter they had.
Yeah, they had a tough winter.
Yes, they did. Hey, I want to ask you about John Gray. And here's the question. We know John has tremendous upside. The splits, and it's very early, he's a young guy at this level. On the road, he handled it. He had a 2.6 ERA. At home, it's above 8. And he had some comments after the ball game the other night. I'm sure you're aware of it. He said, you know what, I'm struggling to figure it out here. And this ball's in the air to pretty deep left center field. But moving back is Marte. Did that bother you at all, how he handled it after the game? Is it something that you as a veteran guy and a catcher will go to him and say, hey, you know, maybe say I'm going to figure it out, as opposed to showing some self-doubt, dealing with a very difficult place to pitch?
Yeah, I think something that needs to be said about this ballpark is there's been plenty of people that have pitched here, and with not as good of stuff, if I may add. So he's got to get that out of his head. He's got to work forward and not look backwards at all. I mean, we could talk about hitting on the road, pitching on the road, opposed to home. Like, we got to figure out a way to do it. Like, if you're out there competing, we were talking about before with Bettis. I mean, Bettis has been very good here. We've had Russin throw 2 complete games here. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if nobody knew what altitude was, what would be the excuse then? Because at the end of the day, we got to go out there, we got to compete. If it is hard to pitch here, fair enough. Let's just pitch a little bit better than the other guy, because he doesn't pitch here, you know, half his starts.
I had a guy mentioned to me the other day, he said, I'd love to pitch here because I give up 5 and I got to win.
Absolutely.
I mean,
that is realistically something you can say if you're pitching here.
And I'll point a couple other things out. First of all, Jorge De La Rosa is worth 30 games above 500 pitching here. And a lot of those years, unfortunately, the club was way below 500, so it could be done. Ubaldo Jimenez, you can go back and look. The first half he had in 2010 was not only a tremendous first half. He started the All-Star game. It was one of the best first halves in the history of the sport, regardless of, forget Coors Field. I mean, he was 15-1 with a minuscule ERA. Chacin always pitched well here.
Always pitched well here.
Obviously, the shoulder caught up with Jolie, so it could be done.
I'll take you guys back a little farther. Brian Bohannon won 12 games a year, 3 years in a row in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Before the Humidor.
Before Humidor. Jason Jennings, Rookie of the Year before the Humidor.
Absolutely.
Aaron Cook won 70-something games. Jeff Francis won 79
Josh Fogg
games.
in that playing game.
Absolutely.
Pedro Estacio won a lot of ball games here.
I think if you're out there and you're competing and you go back to Dela doesn't want to give up a hit, let alone lose a game. That guy wants to compete day in, day out. And I got to catch him a lot this year, and I loved it because the passion that he has, he turns into a different person. You know, he turns into El Diablo when he walks out there. He's the devil with the ball out there, and he's going to get you out any way he can. If he doesn't think he can get you out, if he doesn't have confidence, he may put you on. He'll go after the next guy. He's a guy that goes out there and competes. You know, sometimes his emotions get away from him, but with a guy like that, when he's competing, I'll take that any day because I love it. I love seeing him go out there and do that.
One of your teammates told me, it was just yesterday, said he loves when Dela's out there. Does Dela take some time on the mound? Yeah, and he's not the fastest worker. We all know that. And he deals with a lot of, unfortunately for him, a lot of little nagging injuries, the fingers, some of the other things throughout his career. But he said, I love playing behind him because I know that every time he has the baseball, we have a really good chance of shaking hands at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and that's what you want to do. You want to be shaking hands at the end of the day no matter what. If we get a collective group of men that pitch every 5 days that believe that, they believe when they go out there that we're going to win, and that if they give up 5 that we're going to pick them up, that's when it's going to get really special. You know, I just happened to be in this organization in 07 and 09 when we made the playoffs, we went to the World Series, and it was a special group of men that believed in themselves. They did what they had to do to help their team win that day, whether they were coming out of the bullpen as the last guy or the first guy, or whether they were the last guy off the bench or the first guy off the bench. They knew their role, and they did it really, really well. And they wanted to be the best, not just here, but in the whole league at what they were doing.
Okay, here's the initiation to come into the booth. Read the Rockies read.
Rockies fans, stop by your local dugout store during the month of September for the end of the season sale with the great store-wide discounts. Call 303-832-TEAM. for store locations.
Now you can say it like I do. It's the end of your sale at the Rockies. Make sure you stop by one of the stores, pick up some great merchandise.
Man, he's got that memorized. That's special. That means you've been up here a long time.
19 years. I get the same read at the end of September after 19 years.
That's unbelievable. That's great. You should have it memorized.
Right. They're blowing you up on the phone, by the way. I don't know who's ripping you about being on air, but you're getting blown up.
It happens. It happens.
This is jealous. Another good-looking guy on TV.
There you go. The three amigos up here now.
That's right.
We're going to get into some Pirate stories, in particular your buddy Andrew McCutcheon next inning.
I want to ask you, we got 2 outs now, and it's tough to get into, but I want to ask you about the difference in Clint here and Clint there.
He grew a lot. You know, Clint here was very involved, and he was almost in the clubhouse. Like, he was almost another player, to be honest with you. And then when he went over to Pittsburgh, you know, I think his faith grew. I think he grew as a person. I think family became even more important. It was important here. He was always a family first guy. And then he took that thought and that reality of life and made it kind of a culture over there in Pittsburgh. And he understood that it wasn't going to happen overnight. And it was just a growing process. And he brought guys like McCutchen, like A.J. Burnett, like Russell Martin, Clint Barmas into his office and asked, how can we do better? What do we have to do to do better? They called them the tribal meetings. We voted on a representative as a catcher, as an infielder, as an outfielder, as a bullpen guy, and as a starter. And they would go into Clint's office every month and talk about how can we get better. Last year, for example, the guys voted on who was going to ultimately pitch the last game of the season to try to either win the division or are we just going to settle for the wild card. They ended up pitching Garrett Cole to try to win the division and beat the St. Louis Cardinals. So the guys actually voted on that. So as much as he is the leader, he was being a servant and allowing those guys to help him out.
Interesting. More with Mac when we come back. Losing after Jim Leland left in '92, Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla. Clint Hurdle came aboard after 105-loss season. Last 3 years, they've made the playoffs each year. They have the second most wins in the big leagues to St. Louis over the last 3 years. Chad Bettis will have the top of the order here in the 5th. Josh Harrison steps in. McCutchen is 2 doors down. You have a special relationship with Andrew. How'd that come about?
Just over time. I mean, we played together in 11, 12, and 13, and we just developed a relationship, on the field and off the field. And, there's a lot of these guys that I keep up with, Josh Harrison and Pedro Alvarez. They're still close friends, and I would do anything for them. And I think when you have a really special team, things like that seem to happen.
Pulls his hands in and drives one to left. Harrison's going to have a double here.
All right, but I'm going to point something out real quick. All right, now you're talking about a guy that can hit a little bit in Harrison. What happened first time up? They blew him up inside, then they went under him, then they went away, then they went changeup. Second time he comes up, they blow him inside again. Third time up, you try to blow him up, and it's whack, base hit to left field. I mean, these guys really make adjustments, and that's where you've got to make one as a pitcher to offset this stuff. I mean, that ball's inside, but look how quick he clears everything out of the way here so he can look at his hands to get inside that baseball and be able to pull it. If he takes a long swing or cast his bat, it's lumber in the yard because he's going to blow that bat completely in half. That's a really good at bat.
Absolutely. You saw that they were trying to go away and ran back over. And sometimes that's where they get you. But you're absolutely right. These guys make good adjustments. They have a really good hitting coach in Branson. And, they're going to try to grow. They talk. They go in there and they talk to each other and they try to figure out how are we going to get to this guy. It's not about just me. How are we going to get to this guy? We got to get to the bullpen as fast as possible.
Jeff Decker's at the plate. I'll call Harrison the human Swiss Army knife. He reminds me of Sean Figgins and what he did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he plays so many spots. He get hit in a number of different places in the lineup. He was an all-star a year ago. I know he's battled that thumb injury this year, but this is, if he comes off the bench, like having 3 guys.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he can play every position. And
that's a shame. Chad,
tremendous athlete.
unfortunately, couldn't come up with that. Harrison scores the equalizer on the base hit by Decker. That's his first RBI for the Pirates this year.
Well, it's all about reaction and finish. People don't realize when you release the ball, you're about 54 feet from home plate. And it's a little bit harder than what you think. You try to lay some leather on it, and he got the bottom half of the glove, and he's disappointed. You can see Chad not happy that he wasn't able to make the play. My first experience in spring training of PFP, pitcher's practice.
Oh, yeah.
Frank Howard was hitting him.
And it wasn't.
Oh,
it couldn't have been fun.
Yeah, no, you had bruises all over your body.
And they didn't use the soft baseballs back then, did they? That was the old school way to do it.
That was the old school PFP, and I'll tell you what, you learned to make those plays or you were bruised up.
Absolutely.
Here's Andrew McCutchen. Decker at first base. McCutchen a single and ground ball to short. All right, we're going to show you some footage on the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Oh yeah.
You're familiar with
this.
Yeah.
I knew it was happening before it happened. It was pretty cool.
Oh my Lord!
Isn't that crazy?
So he plotted this out. He's going to do it on national TV.
Yeah. Well, originally he was going to do something different, and it didn't work out. And you know, his wife's a big fan of Ellen's show, so he thought, why not? Let's do this. And you know, it turned out to be a big hit. He wanted to pronounce how he felt about her to everybody. You know, he's a superstar. He's a guy that's in the media all the time. He wanted everybody to know, hey, I'm taken. This is my lady. This is who I want to be with. And you know, they've got an unbelievable relationship. It's really cool to see that kind of grow. You know, I got to watch them go through dating and being engaged, and obviously going to their wedding this off season. It's really cool.
I know you were in his wedding, and I honestly I went down and spent some time with Andrew this morning in the clubhouse, and I really tried. I want to tell you that I asked him for dirt on you. I said, give me something that I can break out this afternoon, and he smiled ear to ear.
That's pretty
and
funny.
He thought about it. And he went back and forth, and I got nothing. You know what? He's your boy. He got nothing.
It's perfect. That's a true friend right there.
There you go. Got nothing. Except that no. There's a line drive, and it's going to turn into. Wow, we got up the line. Double play. Just got him on a 4-6-3.
Guaranteed Hurdle's going to be out of that dugout. There he is.
He's on the top step.
This is the advantage we have up here on the replays. It's much like Jonesy too. Clint's waiting to see. Dave Joust is in the dugout. He's waiting to get the call from upstairs. Out. You can see it. Pretty simple.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, they tried to do it speed of the game. Tough play for DJ. Short hop and then a strong throw on to first base just in time. And again, this is a 2-2 ball game. They clinched last night. It says a lot about McCutchen. Look how he's running up the line to beat this out.
Absolutely. I mean, they're not satisfied. You know, I took Kutch home last night, him and his wife, and they didn't even celebrate last night when they clinched that wild card spot, because ultimately they've been there the last 2 years. They want to win the division, and they're really close. I think they're 4 games out right now. They're playing St. Louis. When they go back home, you know, first they got to face Chicago. They're really hot right now. So they're going to face Chicago, and then they're going to face St. Louis, and they have a chance to win the division. So that's what they're going for.
You know, for me, 2 other keys to their success. They don't get nearly the ink naturally that Andrew McCutchen has been an MVP gets. This guy, Starling Marte,
special,
and Gregory Polanco, who's still a puppy.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
The sky's the limit for those guys. Am I right?
No doubt. And you know, they tried to lock up Polanco last year, and I think he was hitting 200. But you can see the ability he has. I mean, you know, he's got a cannon for an arm. He's got that. Man, he got another one. This guy's.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's in fuego. He's going to turn into the NBA Jam game.
Look at this. He's trying for 2, and out at second base. Great throw from Rafael Noah, who's really more of an infielder. That's about the only way you get Marte out these days.
That's that relentless work Noah's put in and playing all those different positions.
They're going to look at it. You can see Dave Joust taking a look at it, or he's on the phone with their video folks.
I think with these replays, they should have to throw a flag until the 7th inning. I think that'd be great.
Did the foot get in? Yeah, boy, that's going to be close.
It's really close. It's going to be tough to overturn. I've seen it so many times this year where they haven't overturned those really close plays.
And why not check it?
Exactly. You get another one in 2 innings, right?
Yeah, I mean, why not check it? That one there on that angle, he may end up. I don't know.
I hope he's out.
See here.
I hope it's inconclusive.
Well, I'll ask you about Noah. Inoa is one of those guys that
I think he's out too.
Dirt between the foot and the bag. He's
I like
out.
it. I like
He's
it.
out.
I'll ask you about Inoa in one moment. Time for a Subaru review. Whether you're on the road or at the game, everybody could use a second set of eyes. This guy's battled and battled at the Dodge organization. You have a special place in your heart when a guy spends so long trying to get here in the minor leagues and finally finds a way, and he's run out there in left field on a bunch of occasions this year. And I tell you what, he turned around a 100-mile-an-hour fastball last night too.
I tell you what, I would take Inoa on any team I will be on or any team I've been on any day. The guy plays the game the right way. He does exactly what he's told. They said, hey, you need to go out to left field. Boom. He became a very good left fielder. He's not great, but he's very good. I mean, you don't think, oh man, we're hurting our defense by putting him out there. If you told him to play center field, he would. He reminds me of a guy like Clint Barmas.
Yep.
Everybody's familiar with Clint Barmas here as a fan favorite, but he'll do anything he's asked. I mean, hey,
good teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. Come hit early off of Lyles in his simulated BP. Okay, I'm coming. Come do that early work. Just come help. That's what he's here to do, and he does it every single day. And like I said, I would take him any day. And he's grinded to get here, and that makes it even more special. And he doesn't want to lose it. Go ahead and put up that out sign right there.
And
yes,
the verdict is he's out. So a single for Marte, and he's cut down 7-4 on that throw from Inoa to LeMahieu. 2-2 as we go to the bottom of the fifth. For downtown after Rockies home games and get 2-for-1 of draft beers with your same-day ticket. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price and sales and service guaranteed. With George Frazier and Mike McHenry joining us upstairs, I'm Drew Goodman. Gorgeous Thursday afternoon. There's Rafael Inoa. He had that throw, and it's not easy because in the infield, it's a short backswing. You got a longer arm swing from the outfield, and when you're in that situation where you're usually in infield, and all of a sudden now you got to make that throw from the outfield, it's a different deal, Mike.
Absolutely. And if you come out and watch batting practice, you see him kind of moving around. He's taking ground balls at 3 different positions, then he'll run out to the outfield and make those throws. And it's a wonder that his arm doesn't fall off, but he continues to work at it, and he's accurate, and like you just saw, it's been working out great.
Michael, it's the 5 Ps. The 5 Ps.
Let's hear the 5 Ps.
Prior preparation prevents poor performance. 9th grade.
Wow.
Hillcrest High School, I don't want to tell you when. But it was a long time ago.
I thought you were going to drop the dodgeball comment on me.
No, not at all.
Dodged up.
No. The 5 Ps. He prepares for his services every day.
That's great.
So here's Corey Dickerson. Corey singled up the middle in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. Barreled the ball every AB last night. And he fouls that back. The Coors Light Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. Highest average through the first 256 career games all time. JP one period 318. That guy Helton hit 304. Spilly on the list, and then Corey Dickerson in front of Matt Holliday.
It's a special group of guys right there.
That is a special group. Matt played left field for the first time last night for the Cardinals. What from afar? The Cardinals, and Matt Carpenter's had a great year. Hit his 22 last night, 25 and 26. They pitch. I know they pitch. And that's the bottom line of this sport. Doesn't change. What else makes it special about what makes it special? Because, you know, Holiday's been out. Adams been out the whole year. Wainwright. It's going to be a tough play. Boy, really athletic. And then Alvarez. And,
wow.
You know, Pedro Alvarez is. I'm beating him up, but he struggles at first base.
Yeah, he's changing positions. We've all seen Rosie over there. He's changed positions. It takes time. It's not easy. You know, you're talking about a guy that's used to filling a ground ball, throwing it across the diamond. Now he's getting throws thrown at him with runners coming at him. Dickey's helmet falls off, but he's got to make that play, and I think he will. I think he's going to get better and better. But fortunately for us, he didn't make the play. Dickey's on base. We got one out. Top of the order up.
And the other side of that is the other side of it. You got a pitcher 10 feet from you. Is he going to throw me a bullet? Is he going to soft toss me? Going to throw me a cutter, sinker? What's he going to give me?
Exactly. That's where he's got to spend time getting to know these guys, just like a catcher would.
And it is scored a base hit for Dickerson in second. Get back to the Cardinals as a player, looking at them from afar. How are they getting it done?
Professionalism. They show up every single day, and they're fundamentally sound. They work on their craft. They figure out how can I be better, not just for me, but for my team. And then they have unbelievable leaders. You know, you look at the catcher, obviously, who leads that whole team and leads that staff in Molina. And I guarantee you right now, he's helping out Tony Cruz and whoever else is catching over there day in, day out. And then you've got Wainwright, been on the DL almost all year. He's pushing those guys. And you got Matt Holliday for the position players.
Dickerson going, and this is a gapper off the bat of Adames, and this is going to get Corey home easily. Christian to second. He's hunting a triple, and he's got himself a three-bagger, and the Rockies lead it 3-2.
That guy can really play. I don't think he's talked about enough. I said it the other day. The guy can really, really play, and he hit it in that triple corner that I call it, Coors Field. Every time he goes there, you get a triple. Sometimes I don't because I'm not that fast, but a lot of guys do.
I call it the
I got some this year. Yeah,
you and more now.
I call it the Ponderosa.
Yeah.
Hits it out into left center field. You're too young. That was Bonanza. Hits it out into left center field. The chase is on by McCutchen and Starling Marte to get to this baseball. And then you can just allow yourself to get into third base. The head first slide ahead of the throw. Talking about the Cardinals, and I see a little bit of this with Pittsburgh. Before they ever take batting practice, they're taking ground balls. Nobody's on the field. Outfielders are taking outfield balls. And if you watch St. Louis, and I go to the park early, I'm there at 2 o'clock for the 7 o'clock game. All the infielders are taking ground balls every day. The outfielders are throwing every day. Every other day, the catchers are throwing down to second. And it's just ingrained in their mind from the time they're in high A all the way to the big leagues. This is what we do.
Absolutely. If you look back and you go all the way back to rookie ball, you work, you play. And somewhere in the middle in AA and AAA, teams start to disperse with that a little bit. You're not working as much. You're not working on your craft, the fundamentals. Somebody that I look up to, and I've read 3 or 4 of his books, is John Wooden. And if you read anything about that guy, every single day they worked on their fundamental, they worked on their craft. Doesn't mean you have to do the same thing every single day, but yeah, those guys, you know, Pittsburgh, when I was there, every homestand, you know, we threw the bases as catchers. All the guys took it. Sometimes we took infield, outfield. We mixed it up, but we continued to work the fundamentals in our craft on a day-in, day-out basis every series we were at home.
Pyramid of success.
Absolutely.
The 4 teams that come to mind that do that all the time, the New York Yankees, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the St. Louis Cardinals, and the San Francisco Giants.
I'm going to add one in there, the Texas Rangers.
And the Rangers now
Jeff
doing
Bannister,
it with Jeff Bannister.
Absolutely. He's got them doing the same thing.
What are all 5 of those teams doing?
They're
battling
all
for the playoffs.
Yep, all right there in the playoff push.
Jeff Bannister came from Pittsburgh. Here's Willeen. He gets pushed back off the plate. The intentional pass to Arenado. First and third, 1 out. The Rockies with a 3-2 lead, and Christian Adames chance to give them a 4-2 lead, standing at third base. Jared Hughes has gotten up in the Pirates' pen. All right, take us through this, AB. Obviously, you want to lift the baseball here, so looking for something up.
Well, all day today, Jeff Locke has been pounding our righties in, even Nolan Arenado. So right now, Wileen's he's done a good job so far of, not going outside of himself. Make that ball creep back over the plate. That way you're not vulnerable to that changeup. He's going in again right here.
And that is a foul ball.
Because of that right there. As soon as he sees you go quick, he's going to throw that off-speed pitch down and away, and you're going to balk at it. You're going to start to move forward before you need to, and your hands are going to stay back. Like Adames just did to hit that ball in that gap. He rode out that changeup, his hands stayed back, and he drove it in that gap. Right here with Wileen, he's so strong, you could take away his whole body. He's just got to use his hands and flick it somewhere. There's a chance that he hits it over the fence because he's that strong. That's why he's the baby bull.
It was somewhat comical because home plate umpire Ron Culpo didn't know fair or foul, and Harrison fired it to home, and he had to duck so Stewart could catch it. And I was like, "You're kind of in the wrong spot, bud."
It's like that guy that was the football referee that just got obliterated. It's terrible.
Yeah, asking for the pick at first. See, when they used to flick the thumb when I played, that meant flip them. You guys want to throw over to first now.
Yeah. See, that's the old school mentality.
Yeah.
Same thing. Guy takes a huge swing, his helmet falls off. Sometimes I can't believe our guy doesn't just knock him down because the old school mentality. That's the way I was brought up, and that's your box. You got to let him know it's your box.
And Wileen,
that was a changeup,
off-speed pitch.
Just like I told you, this guy's going to throttle you back and forth all day long. See, if you watch this, I bet you Wileen's hip falls out. Yep, it's coming out early because he's been pounding him in. He throws that changeup to speed him up right there.
Well, it's just called pitching.
Absolutely. In, out, up, down, back and forth. Renee Latchman's brother told me that one time. That's pitching. If you have one of them, you can be okay and compete, which that means every day. If you have two of them, you can have a great day. And then when you have all three, that's when special things happen.
You ever heard Latch with laryngitis?
I don't think it's possible.
Strike one on LeMahieu.
He stops by Jiffy Lube and gets oiled up every day.
Right?
That's great. Yeah, I think the reason they invented the microphone is because of Latch.
Latch
it's the only way you can get over him. Yeah, it's the only way you can get over him.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Inside, Latch came up with Babe Ruth.
Sure did.
Or thereabouts.
Yeah, probably roommates with Ty Cobb.
Cotton Satchel Paige, I know that.
That's crazy, isn't it?
AJ 328 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year. He has had an extraordinary season.
Again.
Again, exactly.
Again.
Exactly.
There's a phrase that I use a lot with George and Jeff and Spilly. I think it's so important in sports, really important in this sport. DJ's got it. This is going to end the inning. He plays with a chip on his shoulder.
Every single day.
Yep.
Every single day he does. And I'll tell you what, this guy works his craft as much as anybody on our team. And
been rewarded.
He has.
Got another half inning in the throw.
Absolutely.
Sure he does.
I love you guys. I'm staying.
3-2 lead as we go to the top of the 6th inning. It's fun listening to Fort McHenry on Root Sports. Get well soon. That's from Rocky Zingers.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Neil Walker, and Neil drives one to fairly deep center field. The versatile Corey Dickerson getting the patrol out there.
I'll tell you what, he's looked good out there. He's looked really good out there in center. He's moving well. It doesn't look like his foot's bothering him at all. He's doing some different things in the clubhouse to try to get ready for the game, and I think he's going to stay healthy from here on out.
You ever seen a guy with better hand-eye coordination? I mean, he could hit a golf ball that bounces 3 times.
Yeah, he could join the circus and hit on a tricycle with 7 different balls coming at him. He would hit one of them, whichever one you told him to hit, he'd hit it somehow. He's a special type of hitter, really special.
Jordy Mercer at the plate. How much will the Pirates miss Gong? I know you didn't play with him, but Gong from South Korea did a marvelous job this year, especially offensively.
He did. He made adjustments, and I think that's what's really special about the year he had. It's a big pop-up right here. But, something that good teams have is, just like we were talking about the Cardinals, they have professionalism. They lost Jordy Mercer early in the year, who was playing shortstop every day. He's a defensive first guy. I think he's a guy that's going to hit as his career goes on. But, guys step up, because they're ready. And that's what's happening here. I mean, Mercer, I think before the game today, he was either 12 of 18 or 13 of 18 against us in games he's played. So, guys just step up. Harrison was a great example last year. He got to play a little bit more and became an all-star.
Here's Pedro Alvarez, and he takes outside. All right, you've been in this game now for a while. If you had to pick one guy that you feel that you were able to learn a great deal from to play at this level, who would that guy be?
I got to go back to Michael Kadire last year. His baseball IQ and his baseball knowledge is unbelievably outstanding. So I'd love to be around him more. And then Matheny, being a catcher, being a guy that never really, hit that well, but the guy was a competitor. He won everywhere he was, and he's a special type of guy.
Hold that thought. Rockies up a run. What is this, a yoga class? Earlier they got, well, it could be a yoga class because Helton's in it.
Yeah, he's not very flexible.
No.
That's a great picture.
What would you pay to see Helton in a, no, that's a bad visual.
Yeah, you were going the wrong way right there.
I was going the wrong way.
I'll tell you what, it's been a good game right here.
It's been a heck of a game. Chad Bettis, he needed that, a 5-pitch inning last inning.
He did. They came out and they were swinging at pitches. They were swinging at pitchers' pitches, but that's always what you want to happen. So he did a great job. And we got a little bit of a pitching duel here at Coors Field on a day game, and the ball's been really flying here lately. So it's been fun to see.
Well, to a point you made a few innings ago when you first joined us, we were talking about some of the young arms, and we were talking specifically about John Gray, who's got obviously wonderful talent. You can pitch here.
Absolutely.
And I loved how you said it. What if nobody knew what altitude meant, and you just knew that, okay, in this ballpark, it's a big ballpark, and runs are scored here, you'd have to figure out a way to be one run better than the other team. or the other guy you're facing. And I thought that was a wonderful way of putting it.
Yeah, you look at Johnny Cueto right now. He's in Kansas City, which is naturally a pitcher's ballpark. It's huge. It's like playing at Yellowstone, honestly. And he came from Cincinnati, where he was in the Cy Young talk the last 3 or 4 years. And it's probably, if not better than Coors Field, it's very similar to Coors Field in the sense of how the ball just absolutely flies there. So he was that good there, but he's struggling in Kansas City. It makes no sense. Why not? It's the ballpark. No, it's not the ballpark. You got to make adjustments no matter where you're at. The game will adjust to you if you don't adjust to it. Right there, you know, it puts another good piece of wood on the baseball right there. Obviously, you got underneath it. Round ball, round bat. It's a tough league, huh?
So that's the other thing. That, you know, I have 3 boys and talk all the time about how difficult this game is, and it is a series of individual encounters. As a foul
That's
ball.
never fun.
Yeah, you can relate as Chris Stewart got nicked. Thought for a second it was the follow through, because
I think it may have been because he's holding the back of his hand, and you know Parker has that low finish. We'll see it right here.
Let's see if it was the bat. Yeah, it's going to be the bat. Yep.
Ooh.
Back of the elbow.
Yeah, that's never fun. When it hits that elbow, it shocks you bad. Your hand starts to go numb, and then it starts to tingle. Once it comes back, you're usually fine, but it kind of gives you that shock. That's why it looked like you just got shot from someone from the light tower right there.
Are you old enough to remember? I always laugh about this now. Back in the day, the trainer would come out and he always had a can of this freeze. So wherever you got, like if you got hit, he'd come out
I had
and
to
put
use
the
it yesterday.
You did?
Yeah. I got a shot yesterday, and they said, "Do you want to use the cold spray?" And I was like, "Oh man, that works for everything, right? You should have just done that originally. We didn't even have to have surgery." Oh, that was a good piece of hitting right there.
Yep, he reached down and drove it up the middle. Good for Kyle. He's the guy you want to see have success, and it's been a struggle the last few weeks. So he's on with 1 out. By the way, Scott Oberg is up and throwing. Chad, 97 pitches through 6 innings. So
speaking of, Oberg is going to be very, very good. He's learning himself. He's trying to figure out how to do things the right way, and he's really wanted to learn how to read hitters. You know, sometimes as a bullpen guy, when you have 4 pitches like he does, and they're 4+ pitches, which is very, very rare, you can get carried away with trying to use too many things, too many weapons, and he's learning how to utilize his weapons on a given day. You know, figuring out what's best that day, and how am I going to attack this hitter where I don't throw into his strength. And he's doing a good job. He's going to grow and grow, and he's going to be better year in, year out.
What's been impressive about him, Mike, is that he's had some, listen, he's given up some home runs. He's had some rough outings, learning at this level. But I never see a change in the demeanor. I don't see a change in the body language where he feels like, man, I'm defeated a little bit.
Right.
And you can't have, it's what I started to talk about with, we teach young people about this game, is that ball's
lose it in the lights.
Right.
Lose it in the lights.
Decker makes a catch.
Should have said lose it in the sun, huh? Since it's a day game.
Mike, see what the way it works here. I know you've played a lot of baseball, but they don't put the lights on.
I just thought it was really bright. Yeah. You know, the lights were really good here.
Yep. But it's a series of individual confrontations, and we call it a team game. But everybody knows when Mike McHenry's at the plate, everybody knows what the result of that was. And oftentimes the result is not what you want, so you have to stay process-oriented and still stay positive, even when, you know, at this level you go up there and your batting average is for the whole world to see, and that's got to be so tough mentally. That's such a grind.
Yeah, it's when you go back to what I was saying about Doyle. You got to find a positive out of every negative, no matter what the situation is, what how you're doing. How can I help my team today first? How can I be a servant to all my teammates and try to help us win? Whether I have successful accolades or not, if we're winning, at the end of the day, you're part of a winning team. You're part of a winning process. And that's what you want to do. That's what Kyle Parker is going to do this offseason. I know he struggled some, and
he takes off.
This guy's got a good arm.
The throw's not going to get him. He got underneath. Yep.
Perfect. Now you got a runner in scoring position. For my opinion, one of the better guys off the bench, and Ben Polson. He's got ice in his veins. You guys talk about it a lot, how good he is at stepping up at critical times, and he's done it year in, year out in the minor leagues. I knew him when he was young, and now he's doing it at the big league level, and I think he's going to continue to grow and continue to learn how to do that. I think he's going to be an everyday first baseman in the big leagues for a long time.
By the way, first career stolen base for Kyle Parker out there for Paulson. Here's the 2-0. And it's in there for a strike. Here's a guy, just to embellish what you were saying, who's really taken advantage of his opportunity. And unfortunately, in your business, too often they always talk about things you can't do, as if Willie Mays is always going to be the first guy off the bus. This ball is pulled toward the hole and it eats up Alvarez, and it's going to cost the Pirates a run.
See, there it is. Perfect example right there. He didn't try to do too much. He hit the ball hard and it ate up Alvarez. I mean, sometimes during the day here, the ground can get really, really hard, and you get that extra little spin or that extra little hop here. So it ate him up right there, and that was huge. Puts us up by 2.
4-2 Colorado.
Yeah, tough play. Try to take the tough hop. Just trying to get behind it. It's just a tough play and ate him up. Wouldn't be surprised if we got a hit on that. We get a hit on that?
We will know momentarily. See, the past, the official score, just as soon as he saw it, would give, hit, no hit, that sort of thing. Now they watch it 3 or 4 times. They go to super slow.
They got agents calling them to change it. They have the front office calling and saying, "Hey, I think that's a hit." It's crazy.
Known to call on occasion.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It is a base hit for Paulson and Uribe, so good for Ben. Rockies up 4-2. We'll get a pitching change. Mike McHenry kind enough to join us this afternoon. More from Coors Field on a Thursday after this.
Hats, so make sure you're here for that ball game. Rockies Dodgers, Rockies.com/promotions or 303 Rockies. Make sure you get that done. Well, to bring it in the strange left-hander. He can really mess with you a little bit. I got a little bit of the Lopez in him.
Arnold's left-hander strange?
No. No.
A little bit.
They're part-time human beings.
Part-time. That's pretty good. Well put. Well put. But then he's facing another part-time human being in Dickey.
Yeah, well, that's true, too. It equals out, doesn't it?
Bobby LaFront-Boyce is in there. And Dickerson's got 2 hits. 2 outs after that base hit from Ben Paulson.
I tell you what, I understand the matchups, left, right, whatnot, but is there a matchup for Dickey? I don't know if there is.
No, because he's got so much of a weird swing that he gets so far on the front feet, his hands never move. They stay back. You flip that slider away, and he'll dump it out into left field on you.
Yeah.
You hang it, he'll tear the wall down.
Yeah.
Well, you say on one hand you don't have to throw him a strike, but then on the other hand, even if you don't throw him a strike, he may be able to barrel it up and hit it 420. So.
But I want to ask you a question. As a catcher, with him hitting in a long backswing like that, do you have a tendency to back away a little bit or get lower?
Neither.
I mean, he hits a bunch.
Yeah. You just wear it. Last year we were playing Kansas City, and Gordon hit me real hard, their left fielder, Alex Gordon. I mean, he got me a couple times. I just tried to stay within myself, do what I could. Got another stolen base.
Yep. Then Paulson getting the bag.
That's outstanding. That's taking advantage of the pitcher. This guy behind the plate can really throw. That's why he got to the big leagues, because he could throw. And right there, that's taking advantage of the pitcher, and that's most of the time how it happens.
It's all about exchange. He turns that leg so far behind the rubber, you got a free rein to go. But the thing that impressed me there, and if you can go back and show it to us, guys, is Dickerson's swing over the top of Stewart while he was throwing.
Yeah, it messes you up. If you can swing or you can show that bunt and pull it back and get in the catcher's eyes, it's really hard to wait back and see the ball and then throw.
Well, look at it, Mike. This is what I'm talking about. And you see this and you're like, really? I mean, watch the swing. He's going to move out and start to rotate to get into throwing position. That's not the swing. It's that swing coming around you, and now you got to throw out over the top of that.
It goes back to that backswing. You know, they tell you to go into the runner or into the guy that's hitting it. It's so hard. You know, your human nature is to throw the ball and kind of adjust. You don't ever want to go into the guy. It's really hard to do. Sometimes it is the best play. It's the best opportunity to actually get an out because you get that interference call.
Well, he got him with a slider. The Rockies get another run on the base hit by Ben Paulson. And Kyle Parker comes around. I know you got to head back downstairs, Max. So much, great pleasure to have you up
here. I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys for having me. It was a lot of fun.
This is a blast. Talk baseball. I love
Absolutely. Anytime. I'd love to come back up if I have a chance. Thank you.
Love to have you. Mike McHenry, get well soon as well.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
4-2. More RBIs. He has 3,000 ribbies now this season, which is some sort of record. He's got 117 to be exact. Christian Adames, an RBI triple. Ben Paulson off the bench with a base hit to drive in a run. Also his first career stolen base. Kyle Parker, who reached on a hit, had his first career stolen base. Ben's going to stay in at first base. Scott Oberg will take over in the 7th inning. And another really good outing, George, from Chad Bettis.
It was a good outing for Chad. I mean, he made it through 6 innings, and he's going to take it over here in the 7th and see what it can happen, and see if the Rockies can do what they need to do to maintain this lead of 4-2. Turn it over to the bullpen. Let's take a look at the numbers of Scott Oberg on the year, making his 59th appearance, 3-4 overall record, 40 strikeouts in 54 innings.
Chris Stewart with a 1-strike count. Travis Snyder's come out in the on-deck circle for the 9-hole. When Mike McHenry gave Scott Oberg high praise on his work habits, his stuff. And he's a guy that's going to be on the plus side, hopefully for years to come. What I mean by that is pitching in a setup role late in games, trying to help protect the lead. He's doing that right here. Oh boy, here's another tough chance for Nolan. He's got to catch a run, and he gets him by a step. Well done. I've been watching George. He's a good third baseman defensively.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job, doesn't he?
Got a chance.
Think he's got a chance? I think he does. High chop going to have to cut it off and make the play again and use that athleticism that Nolan has and the accuracy of the arm to complete the out.
Ben Paulson used one of those veteran moves. Helton used to do it. Going back, Keith Hernandez used to do it. Just quick off the bag, fire it around, and sell the umpire. Now, in the past, it was more important. Now you have video replay.
Yeah, a little tougher. He's going to get another shot at it. A short hop, pick it. Why not?
He's just showing off now. Snyder's gone. You got to hit it in another direction, guys. It ain't going to work if you hit it at the third baseman.
Now, the toughest part of this high hop, Nolan comes in, watch the glove will open immediately, and then just enables him to make the short hop play to first. Nice play.
I thought about this the other day, George, because I put a little star.
You were thinking?
You do. Well, that's a scary thought. Josh Harrison at the plate here in the 7th with 2 outs, but I put a little star when a guy makes, you know, a well above average play.
And you had a lot of stars by
well, I was wondering if I went back through my book through the whole year, how many stars I've put on a play that started with 5.
How many do you have?
I haven't done it yet, but I'm guessing it's well over 100. And Harrison is behind 0-2. He's got Oberg, man, working quickly, pounding the zone.
Well, that's the key to it. Ahead with strikes, and then when you do that, you got a pretty good chance.
Harrison a double in the 5th and would score on a base hit by Jeff Decker to tie the game at that point at 2. Rockies trying to salvage 1 of 4 here against the Pirates and a 4-game slide and snap a 5-game winning streak for Pittsburgh. Joe Blanton, who got the win yesterday, is throwing for the Pirates in their bullpen, and that's fair. Yeah, reached down and got the curveball. He's going to have another double.
Well out on the front foot, but enough hand coordination to be able to get to the baseball and make the solid contact to put the ball down the left field corner. And look at it, come right into your house. Out of the reach of Nolan by about a foot, foot and a half, and anytime that ball's hooking, it's going to curl, get against the fence, and make it a little tougher to try to cut him off at second base. He coasted into second base.
That reminded me, you know that reminded me of Mookie Wilson. Mookie's helmet, because Mookie was so fast, the helmet always flew off.
Well, Sarge is the one that always hit it. Gary Matthews get a base hit, and he'd flip it off immediately and take off running. I think he thought it held him back, the bill of the helmet.
Decker takes a strike. This turns into a real important confrontation. 2 outs, got a runner in scoring position. The Rockies up 2 runs. You have McCutchen on deck. Oberg needs to get Jeff Decker here. 96 is a little high, 1-1. So Bettis goes 6 innings, allows 2 runs on 7 hits, walked 2, struck out 6. In his last 18 innings of work, he's given up just 3 runs. Good pitch.
Well, this ball club, the Pittsburgh Pirates, lead the National League with a .268 average with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Getting a bite on the slider. It's 2-2. Thanks again to Mike McHenry. Mac did a great job articulating the game from a player's perspective, and of course he has great insight, being a very cerebral guy, a catcher, and a guy that played for both organizations, now twice with the Rockies, 3 years with the Pirates. Three and 2. What do you like here, George? Fastball or slider?
I think you can blow him up inside, is what I think. I think you can go to it with the fastball. You're throwing 96 miles an hour. See if you can hit it or not. We'll take a peek to see where they go with this. Garneau's going to call a mixture of pitches here. Let's see if he tries to work inside outside. Watch your catcher go to that outside corner. Oberg didn't like it.
A lot of times the first place a catcher moves with a runner on second will be a bluff. That's what George is referring to. Swung on and missed. He went off speed and he strikes out Decker. Harrison left at second. Job well done. Scott Oberg with a lot of help from his third baseman. 4-2 Colorado, stretch time.
Here in the bottom of the 7th inning on February the 20th in 2016, the University of Denver and Colorado College are going to face off at Coors Field in the first outdoor collegiate hockey game in Colorado. Tickets are on sale now at Rockies.com/hockey. Make sure you're there. That's going to be a great 3 days here at the ballpark.
It's going to be an awesome 3 days.
So what I call it, should I say ice rink?
Yeah. You know what I would pay to see?
What would you pay to see? Me on skates?
You on skates.
It'll never happen.
Have you ever been on skates?
Yes.
How many years ago?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I think it was 61 or 2.
Joe?
1961 or 2. And I don't get on skis because they don't have brakes. 18th game for Joe Blanton. He's 4-0 on the season. Picked up the win yesterday.
Christian Adames, an RBI
Dougie,
triple.
that's not a break.
First career triple, and pretty good coordination there. Alvarez to Blanton, and then Blanton fumbled. So Pittsburgh has been a little shaky defensively, and the Rockies have taken advantage.
They have taken advantage of it. Now Alvarez is going to be able to feel the baseball on the backhand. Now let's just see what kind of feed he gets here. That's a perfect feed. Yeah, he just took it off the chest and didn't make it.
No official scoring yet. They're going to give an error now to Joe Blanton.
As they should.
So Adames, the Rockies have been aggressive running with Walt here in the last inning. Kyle Parker a stolen base, his first career. Paulson a stolen base last inning. And now with Arenado up, Adames at first. And he takes off, and Stewart's throw is going to get him. So Adames cut down. Pretty good job by Neil Walker to dig that out of the dirt.
Well, it was. Again, you just kind of got to trust the catcher. Typically, if it gets to the dirt, it's going to be a quick skip, so it's a little easier to pick. And it was a short hop. The tag's there. He is out. Got him right on the arm. Gave him time once the ball beat him there. Umpire gets a pretty good look at it.
So Arenado, 2 doubles and an intentional walk, 2 driven in. He's got 117 RBIs now, most in the National League by 14. Paul Goldschmidt with 103. Goldschmidt homered last night for Arizona. It's down the right field line, but it's fading out of play. Dodgers and Diamondbacks playing a day game in LA today at 6-3 Los Angeles. Again, the Dodgers in over the weekend. Had to dust himself off a couple times in this series. When Archimedes Caminero came in a few days ago and his first pitch was at 100 miles an hour at his coconut. And Rockies were upset, and you could hear home plate umpire Ron Copa saying it wasn't that close.
Now, it works two ways with a hitter. It can intimidate, or it can just make him that much stronger towards going after it. Nolan's not happy.
And Walker had to come all the way back toward the infield after that and almost crashed into Alvarez to catch that pop. 2 outs.
See a lot of wind up, a lot of sun. He's fighting the sun, and Alvarez like, get out of the way, block for me as I come forward. I don't think Alvarez thought he was that close to him. He was really close.
Well, here's the pitch to Nolan.
Yeah, the overhead give you a little better look about it. That's close enough.
How does Ron Copa say that wasn't that close?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Here's Cargo pinch hitting. This is the pitcher spot. Again, Willeen was originally hitting cleanup. He came out after Paulson pinch hit and stayed in the game. 2-0.
Diaz has been warming in the bullpen for the Rockies.
And Cargo rifles the base hit to right. And it's misplayed out there by Decker, and Cargo will take advantage. He'll move another 90 feet into scoring position. And it's the second error of the ball game, official error on the Pirates. Both come in this inning.
Yeah, just not even staying down on the baseball, just shot right between his legs. A little bit of concentration there. Cargo watching, and he knows he can coast on into second base.
So with 2 outs, DJ LeMahieu, it's Morneau. Well, this is strange.
Yeah, real strange. Yeah, that's
There's
where you start to. Well, they'll do what they'll do is they'll probably throw Cargo into right. Then they'll move Parker to left. Morneau will go to first. And Eno will go to second. I'm doing the circle here.
Yeah, something must have happened with DJ, obviously. So Eno will come up after the free pass to Justin. 2 on and 2 outs. Well, there's LeMahieu. Usually if a guy's nicked, you don't see him in the dugout, he'd be up in the trainer's room. But something must be awry. You're not going to take out a Gold Glove defender with a 2-run lead going to the 8th inning. Not to mention he's a 300 hitter.
Probably one of your better hitters on the team.
Yep. Clutch hitter at that, et cetera, et cetera.
Rob Scahill, the former Rocky, is warming up in the Pirate bullpen now, along with Diaz for the Rockies.
Rob. And there's Jairo Diaz. This is playable for Harrison and foul ground. And he makes the catch that ends the inning. Rockies got a hit. They leave 2 on. We'll go to the 8th, 4-2 Colorado. Of the game. Chad Bettis, another terrific outing. 6 innings, gave up just 2 runs. 1 in the first, 7 hits. He scattered, a couple walks. He struck out 6. Had a real good changeup going today. Locked up Walker with a curveball there. Our delivery of the game from Jimmy Johns, Chad Bettis. Chad looking on as we've arrived at the top of the 8th inning. Some changes to tell you about. Cargo in right field defensively. Kyle Parker flips to left. Enoa goes from left to second. So it's Adames and Enoa up the middle. Ben Paulson entered the contest after pinch hitting an inning ago. Jairo Diaz takes over in the 8th inning, and he's been in this spot quite a bit in the month of September for Walt. And Andrew McCutchen will be first up. 1 for 3 this afternoon. And this is right at Enoa. He knocks it down and he'll get the out. You talk about great defensive positioning. Bet you there's a little smile on the face of Stu Cole, who aligns that infield. I mean, that was ideal.
Yeah, ball hit hard too. 95-mile-an-hour fastball hit right back up the middle. Diaz tried to jump it. Noah comes from left field, changes gloves, ball finds you, gets an out. Simple as that.
Yeah, high praise from Mike McHenry on Rafael Enoa. What did he say? He goes, I'd take him on any team I've ever played on or ever will play on.
Here's Diaz's number, 17th game. Very good earned run average. He's pitched 14 innings, shown velocity and shown outs. That's what you like to see.
So he's pulled foul. 2 strikes on Starling Marte. Starling Marte has a dozen hits, and in a 4-game series this year, he and Ian Kinsler are the only 2 players in baseball to have 12 hits in a 4-game series. Kinsler did it obviously for the Tigers against Baltimore toward the end of July this year. Marte has 12 hits in this series. No, now he's in the record book by himself this year. You kidding me? 13 hits in a 4-game series.
Nuts.
He now has 2 4-hit games in this series, and 2 of the hits today, George, when he's behind 0-2.
Can really hit. I mean, I don't know any other way to explain it. He can just flat really hit.
I'll bring up Neil Walker. Diaz, line drive off the bat of Walker for a base hit.
If you're on the road traveling and want to watch your Rockies, subscribe to MLB.TV Premium for live or on demand for over 400 devices, real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and a whole lot more.
And now you have a little situation in a 2-run game. The go-ahead run at the plate in Jordy Mercer, and Mercer has some pop. He's 0 for 3 this afternoon.
You start looking down as Waltwood into the numbers right now. There's been 3 hitters and 3 balls hit hard off of Diaz. Then you turn to look, you got Logan warming up. Surprisingly, he and Alvarez have never matched up. They may get a chance here in a minute unless Clint wants to go to the right-hander, which would be Morse.
It's fouled off, 1-1. Mercer has hit .404 in his career against the Rockies. Bastardo, veteran lefty, in the bullpen now for the Pirates. George, you had the whole clan in town. Got big festivities planned after the game and tomorrow here at the ballpark, and it's good to see. I haven't seen. Well, I see Parker every spring training, but I hadn't seen Matt and Brian in a while. And of course, I saw Georgia about a month ago before she went to Miss America pageant. But everybody looks great.
They're all having a great time, great families, and
ground ball foul.
Very excited that they were all able to make it back in here for this, and happy they're here. Happy to celebrate with them.
Yep, tomorrow at 6. Don't be late. We have the George Frazier retirement celebration. We'll carry that right here on our air. Roger wishes you good luck in retirement.
Well, thank you, Roger. I appreciate it.
I'll pass the stories along because George and I talk all the time in season and out of season. So he won't know it, folks, but I'll pass along some of those stories to you. Swung on and missed. Big strikeout. Out number 2 is Diaz fans Mercer. Now with Alvarez coming up, a guy with a ton of pop. See if Walt goes to Boone Logan here. It's a chase pitch.
So far, Walt's staying in the dugout. He shifted around a little bit. Boone's ready to go. He's given the hat indication, and the phone's rang.
You know, Garneau's kind of standing there looking and waiting. And this may be Walt's decision to give Diaz a chance to grow, because if you're a true 7th, 8th inning guy, you're going to face righties and lefties.
Alvarez on the year has hit left-handers at 271, right-handers 238.
And you know, some of that may play in, but also I think Walt wants to see this young man take another little small step forward. Say, no, this is your inning.
Well, that's one of the big things to it for me. You know, you got to see if he can do it or can't do it. With the ball club and the record the way it is, it's a pretty easy fact-finding mission.
1-0's in there at 98. 1-1. shift on for Alvarez. Moved his feet a little bit, and it is 2-1. Alvarez strikeout, a walk, and a ground ball to first. It's the start of 2012, second in National League home runs to Giancarlo Stanton. Shouldn't have said that. 3-run home run, Pedro Alvarez, and the Pirates go in front 5-4. His 26th home run of the year was a bullet to the Rockies bullpen.
And unfortunately for Diaz, that memory sticks in the mind of decision makers. And it looked like a changeup, had split rotation to it. It just never did have any drop to it. He just sat right on it, hit it right over the head of Carlos Gonzalez into the Rockies bullpen. And so now Stewart will get swinging the bat again.
On the ground to short. Stewart grounds out to end the inning, but damage done. 3-run home run, Pedro Alvarez. The Rockies will led 4-2, now trail 5-4. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Saratoga Casino, so new, so you. And by StubHub, Rockies fans, did you know the StubHub app is personalized just for you? Get the StubHub app today. Well, disappointing because Chad Bettis will get a no decision, and the Rockies at a 4-2 lead, and now they trail 5-4 in the 8th after the 3-run home run from Pedro Alvarez. Rockies, the bottom third of their order. Antonio Bastardo is on for the 62nd time. Rockies have already seen him a couple times in this series.
Strike thrower, that's what he is. 4-1 record overall. He's walked 24 in those 53 innings, but he struck out 60. He'll get Kyle Parker and Garneau, a guy that puts the ball on the ground, and he can do that. By the way, Alvarez, 26 home runs. 21 of those have been solo shots. One of the few times that he has done it with runners on. Sean Rodriguez says it is typical for this ball club to get late in the ball game with runs ahead in counts. I think he comes on to play first base for Pedro Alvarez.
Leading off for the Rockies is Kyle Parker. Kyle had a base hit his last time up and stole a bag. came around to score on the pinch single by Ben Paulson. One ball, one strike. $25,164 in the house this afternoon. Splendid day. And Parker strikes out against Bistardo. That'll bring up Garneau. Who wants tacos? Fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 in a game or more. Garneau is 0 for 3 this afternoon. Paulson on deck.
I want to thank Grandma Janie's Kitchen. They brought us up last night to the entire root crew. She brought fresh baked breads, brownies, cookies, and we really appreciate it. And she brought up, and she was very excited. You can order Grandma's Janie's Kitchen on Facebook. How about that? Did you know that? She'll deliver it within 50 miles of Colorado Springs if you'd like to do that.
And Grandma,
and thank you.
Grandma Janie's cooking is outstanding. The banana bread was wonderful.
It was so good that I didn't share very much. That foul tip right off the shin guard of Stewart. Yeah, the big thing about those shin guards, there is an area right below the kneecap, and they've tried to improve them as much as they can. I don't know if he'll hold still long enough, but that little area right in there is pretty flexible, and that's where you get a lot of that, and it doesn't feel good. Doesn't have the hard plastic sitting on it. Go to that outside corner on Garneau.
And Garneau pops it up middle of the diamond. Bastardo pointing out where the ball was. Mercer saw it. Mercer catches it. 2 gone. And that'll bring up Ben Paulson. Ben had a base hit off the glove of Pedro Alvarez to drive in a run. Stayed in the ball game at first base. Dodgers, George, look like they're already in preparation for Donnie Mattingly for the postseason. Clayton Kershaw today went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, 6 hits, walked 1, struck out 9.
And today is Thursday, so I'm just trying to count it out. If he made his next start, and if they're off Monday, I don't have their schedule, it would probably be like Wednesday or Thursday, 5 games out. This ball will be popped up. Rodriguez is trying to get under it to make the play. He will. Then he would start sometime midweek, and it'd fall right into place for him to start the first game of the playoffs.
But cut back on how long he pitches right now.
Yeah, just keep sharp. Basically all he would do.
5-4 Pittsburgh. Axford is going to have to keep the Pirates at bay. He came into a ball game and he hadn't worked in a while, and he came into a ball game yesterday with the Rockies down 7-6, and unfortunately it was a rough outing for him, and he's in the same situation today. And ordinarily at home you come in as a closer in the 9th inning if your team is even or obviously ahead, and he's being called upon again with a 1-run deficit.
Trying to maintain it in a 5-4 ball game. Using back-to-back days may be difficult. If you got a safe situation tomorrow, you'll have to hunt for somebody else down in that bullpen.
Michael Morse is going to pinch hit here. It's 9-1 and 2 in the lineup for the Pirates here in the top of the 9th. That pitch misses. That was one of the things really last couple years when John has been hurt. It's been getting behind in counts and walking guys. I mean, when the stuff's in the zone, he's a handful.
He is. He's got a good fastball at 94 to 97 miles an hour to go with a hammer and a slider.
We've seen him actually touch 100 this year. Last 3-4 weeks, he's more often than not been 98, 99 consistently. It's a big arm. Axford, 3 matchups with Morse. Morse won one of them with a home run. There's 97. It's 1-2. Josh Harrison on deck. Strike 3 with curveball, 1 out. Rockies in the bottom of the 9th will have the top of the order. That's Dickerson, Adames, Arenado, and with Cargo being inserted in after pinch hitting into right field, he'll hit 4th.
Pretty interesting to see how the 9th turns out.
Yep. And again,
John
Axford trying to keep it a 1-run game. With every challenge call, the Subaru eyesight review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Melanson will try to go for number 50. He's 49 of 51 so far. Yeah, that's kind of unfair right now. And you're blowing the fastball at 97. You got shadows in front of home plate. Enjoy that.
Yeah, that's the one thing is when it gets, hitters will tell you, when it gets close to around 4 in the afternoon, it is really difficult, not just in this ballpark, a lot of the ballparks, because the sun will work behind a light stanchion, that sort of thing, and cast a shadow. And when guys throw this hard, it makes it so difficult. That's why there was a game recently, turned to Dougie, I can't remember where we were, where the Rockies hadn't struck out the first 5 innings. In the last 4 innings, they struck out about 10 times. It's right, it was in San Diego. I mean, nobody could make contact.
Well, you can't see the ball. You can't pick up. The big thing for a hitter is if he can pick up a red dot on a slider, over spin on a curveball, split change, circle change. A lot of things you got to try to pick up.
5 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Pirates. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Rockies. They had a 4-2 lead, and then the 3-run home run from Pedro Alvarez against Jairo Diaz last inning. Hitters will tell you just get in battle mode. That's why you saw Michael Morse's reaction. He couldn't see the spin on that curveball that froze him a moment ago.
Well, he's wondering also if Ron Culpa saw it. I'm teasing. Culpa's a good. This whole umpiring crew is a very good, experienced umpiring crew. Carapaza's been up for a couple of years now and earned it.
Swung on and missed. 2 outs. The Pirates came into play this afternoon 92 and 60. The 32 games north of 500 represented the first time since 1992 late in the season that they were 32 games above 500. They were 95 and 63 on September 29th of 1992. Jeff Decker. Pirates have really swung it in this series. Going back to Sunday at Dodger Stadium, 361, 32 runs over the last 4, and they've tacked on 5 today.
That's what good teams do. They figure out a way to win baseball games.
And this is loop to left, the base hit for Decker.
Couple of base hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Decker's raised his average to 250 and hitting 200.
Andrew McCutchen, a single back in the first, 1 for 4. McCutchen, just a couple hits in the series. He's walked a ton. Ball, 1 strike. Red Sox have settled on a general manager. Dave Dombrowski took over as president of baseball operations after leaving Detroit. And in August, the Red Sox gobbled him up, and they stayed in house. Mike Hazen, been with the club for about 10 years.
Yeah, a lot of focus now on amateur scouting development.
1 and 2. And he's been involved in a number of areas for the Red Sox, kind of like Jeff Bridich, climbed his way up the ladder.
You got to have a mentor like Dave Dombrowski sitting over the top of you that you can bounce a lot of things off of. I think it's right move, wrong move. When you're doing those things, I think that's invaluable to young GMs.
Hazen, 39. There's Jeff on the right. Hazen was with the Indians for about 5 years prior to going to the Red Sox.
Well, you go and learn all the different things too that you have to at the commissioner's office. They ask you to do an awful lot of different things, and it's a good way to get started.
A lot of guys come out of the commissioner's office.
If you think about it, just with the Rockies alone, Josh Bernstad, Levine, John Daniels, Jeff Bridich, there's 4 pretty good ones right there.
Yep. A similar path for the new general manager in Milwaukee.
Right, same exact thing.
Three and 2 on McCutchen. Runner will be off with the pitch, and ball 4. Well, he got ahead with the fastball, and then 3 straight breaking balls. And he loses McCutchen, and now Marte, who's been an impossible guy to get out in this series, is at the plate. Marte is 4 for 4 today, 13 hits in the 4 games, which is the best this year in the big leagues. Ian Kinsler had a 12-hit 4-game series for Detroit earlier this year. Also, Doug just handed me a note. It ties the Pirates' all-time record for hits in a 4-game series. Guess who he tied?
Willie Stargell.
No, Pie Traynor, the Hall of Famer in 1928. Wow. Remember that series that Pie had against Brooklyn that year, George, the 4-game set?
No.
Oh, man, you couldn't get him out.
I was busy working in the locker room. I didn't see it. Missed it.
Missed it? They show it on MLB Network, the replay of it frequently. Two strikes on Marte, and that's been the issue. They've gotten 2 strikes on Marte today, and then he throws out a hit.
Yeah, just trying to finish it on off.
Next pitch will be the 21st. To what we were discussing earlier, it makes it very unlikely Axford will be available tomorrow. First game of the Dodgers series. 20+ yesterday. And this is on the ground to second. Easy play for Inoa. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Rockies need to rally. They're down a run, 5-4. Nolan Arenado is sitting 3rd in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's time for our CenturyLink link to what's next. Let's see the pitching matchups for the Dodgers series. David Hale will enter the rotation here in the final days of the season. He'll be opposed by Mike Bolsinger. Brett Anderson, a Rocky last year at 9-9. He'll go against Kyle Kendrick on Saturday evening. And then Sunday afternoon, Alex Wood, who pitched a great game against the Rockies last week, will go against Chris Russin. Our CenturyLink link to what's next. Right now, it's the Rockies trying to get after Mark Melancon, who's sitting on 49 saves. He's blown just 2 this year.
Yeah, and it set a Pirates record. Mike Williams in 02 had 46. He's second on the list. Jose Mesa 43 in 04. Joel Hanrahan 40 in 11. He also in 12 had 36 before the injuries hit. He's on his comeback trail, but you see the big numbers here overall, trying to get number 50. He'll get Dickerson to start things off. It's not going to be the easiest one he's gotten. Dickerson 1 for 3 in his career versus him.
Now the batter's box is in a full shadow. Melanson changes speeds well. He's got good ball movement. He's not a overpowering closer. That fastball was cut on it at 93. And Dickerson took a hack to tie it up.
But what he does do is pinpoint control. I mean, he's going to take this cutter and he put it right in a very good location, right below the hands of Corey Dickerson. Dickerson one swing trying to tie it up. Coming inside with something hard again. Stood him up.
Melanson, a teammate of Nick Hundley's at the University of Arizona. Nick caught him there out of Golden High School. Got a save on Tuesday night. Pirates done a really good job finding guys to close games and be really good at it that weren't necessarily top flight closers prior.
Well, who was
Jason
it?
Grilli.
Jason Grilli. Well, he closed and then kind of went to the setup role out of Detroit. Came over here and closed and setup role a little bit more and found his niche. They needed a guy to close over there when Manrad got hurt. He took the job over and he was really efficient for Clint Hurdle. He has since been on-traded since then.
Joel Hanrahan for a couple of years, George, was filthy.
Just unhittable.
1-2, and this is
that got a little fist
flare.
pretty good.
So Harrison makes the catch, 1 out. That'll bring up Christian Adames, an RBI triple for Christian in the 5th. Tied up Christian inside. It's 0-1. The list is short of guys that have produced a 50-save season. 14 times in big league history has it occurred. Bobby Thigpen was the first to do it, the former Mississippi State star. He had 57 back in 1990.
White Sox.
Frankie Rodriguez has the record in 08, 62 with the Angels. 0-2. And that was a great curveball. No other way to describe it. 2 outs. Subaru Super Mo rolled off the table, as they say. So Nolan, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, an intentional walk, and a pop out. Trying to reach for Carlos Gonzalez, who's on deck. Rockies played a terrific game until that 3-run home run from Pedro Alvarez in the top of the 8th. Strike 1. You just see the way Nolan's reaction there. I'm not trying to make an excuse. The Pirates went through it last half inning. It's just really tough now for a hitter. It's hard to see the seams of the baseball. Wow, they called that a swing.
He did?
He did. I thought he held up. Wow, that was Ron called that Copa. He didn't even check. Nolan didn't argue much, but thought he held up. Maybe not.
Nah.
2 strikes on Arenado.
What that hit?
That wasn't caught. It wasn't handled by Chris Stewart. He had trouble seeing it.
Coming up and in again with the fastball, and it doesn't look like he necessarily set up that way.
Well, he missed that thing by 6 inches.
Yeah.
That almost got his wrist and not the heel of the catcher's glove. One and two. 2-2. So Nolan works back in the count. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Going in
Rockies
again.
down a run. He held up. It's 3-2.
See, that's something sometimes pitchers don't recover from when they're constantly in the bottom half of the strike zone. Then you do buzz the tower. Then to regroup and get the ball and back in with it, because you're always thinking in your mind that backside that went up and in. Now let's go down low and away and try to get too aggressive and leave it up.
3-2. Swung on and missed. Melanson saves the game, his 50th save, and the Pirates have swept the Rockies. The final score 5-4, and a real bitter loss for the Rockies. They were in control 4-2 with 2 outs in the 8th inning, and then Pedro Alvarez, the 3-run home run off of Jairo Diaz. So the Pirates are rolling. They're 93-60 as they have won 6 consecutive games. And now the Rockies have dropped 5 straight. They fall to 63-90. Joe Blanton gets the victory once again. He's 5-0. Diaz takes the loss, and Melanson save number 50 for the Golden High School product. Stick around. The Toyota postgame show is up next. Once again, the Pirates 5 and the Rockies 4.